Good morning, everybody. All right. Okay. Welcome in here. We'll be doing some gamepad action. We'll be doing some gamepad action today. All right. Back in here for some Windbreaker. We're ready to wake some winds. Welcome to the show. What up? What up, Sunday squad? I think it's Sunday. I don't know. Oh, here we go. Chat in the Forbidden Woods. In the Forbidden Woods. Oh, wow. You could switch it back to hero mode at any point. I didn't realize that. How convenient is that? We're just hanging out and doing some normal mode. We don't... Hero mode is just trivial to some extent. But it is fun. All right. What up, big doggo? And thank you, Casanova, for the biddies. The first support of the day. Some love in the chat for 900 biddies. That's a massive amount of bits at the start of a show. Thank you, dude. Thank you, dude. Good morning. All right. Okay. Waking some winds. Got to remember how to play on this gamepad. It's the gamepad's weird, man. It's not a controller, dude. It's a freaking Corvette. What? Why am I throwing bait at stuff? I didn't even know I had bait equipped because I have that stuff turned off. All right, well, let's not waste our bait. Let's equip that. Okay. Good morning. Welcome to the show, y'all. Good to see you. I would describe Link as adorable in this game, sure. He's definitely got some vibes. It's a trap. We've been trapped. All right, how do I turn the camera in this one? Okay, we could do the classic shield camera turn, but I thought there was another camera turn. Or am I just going crazy? Okay, that's it. There it is. Taking this again. I'm using this gamepad, and this thing sucks, but like, you know, it's serviceable. It ain't no Mad Catz controller. So, at least we got something going on here. It ain't no Mad Catz. Good morning, perpetrators. What up, Wizard Impaler? Good morning, Nintendo and Spicy Sin Bun. What up, Jessica and Megs by another name? How we doing today? Good morning, Brielle. What up, Spidey Billy? Again, that's a double. Oh, there was another trap. Don't worry, I'm coming back for y'all. Oh, they got me. Gonna head back to bed. Yo, no problem, dude. It's Sunday. That's what Sundays are for. Enjoy some sleepy Sundays, dude. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. All right. Shall we? And so the dungeon begins. Yo, what up, Armazel? Okay. What is my Deku Leaf? It's on X. I actually think we want to go down first. I actually love this dungeon. As far as like an intro dungeon to the game, this is one of my favorite introduction dungeons in the Zelda universe. It's fun. It's a fun, lighthearted dungeon. It has this game. What this dungeon does best is atmosphere. Like the vibes of this dungeon, it feels like you're in a dungeon. It's
Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody is having an awesome Sunday morning, and at Highlandescent, I love watching your stream. I love this game. H-Day Wave H-Day Arrive.
Yo, thank you for 35 months, Nintendo Cozy Gamer Lady. Appreciate that. Yo, loving the chat. If you got a free hand, good morning. What up? What up, Mad's World? It's a mad, mad, mad world. Waken Leaves here. This is where we got the Deku Leaf item from Breath of the Wild. For those that don't know. This game was the inspiration. All right, we're gonna turn the game down a little bit. That's a little bit much. That's a little bit much. Turn it down a little bit here. Trying to cozy up. Yeah, the Deku Leaf. Look at that. For those that haven't played this game, look at the leaf. It's actually a whole item in this game, because in the older Zelda universe, we called them key items, and you got a different item from every dungeon essentially, and that item would be used to finish the dungeon, and it would also be used in the overworld to find secrets and stuff. And this is the key item in this game is the Deku Leaf. You can use it to like create massive gusts of wind that help you in combat sometimes. You can also use it to glide. And that's pretty much it. It's basically this game's glider. So, for those that didn't know, Breath of the Wild was not the first Zelda game with a glider. So, yeah. There's some trivia for you. Oh yeah, this game doesn't look too bad at all on Nintendo Switch Online. Yeah, that's for sure. I love my Nintendo Switch, the sequel. I'm about to get the upgrade pack for Animal Crossing. I'm also about to get a screen protector and a protective case. Dude, nice. Thanks, dude. Welcome to the Nintendo Switch sequel family. The sequel. Nintendo Switch. The sequel. I love it. I love your style, dude. What up, Dan? Good morning, Dat Baby. All right, let's see if I can get this by throwing this. Close, right? Dude, we got this. Okay, we're getting there. Close. I'm not even sure if this is like a hitbox that the game is going to register. I really don't. I've never tried doing this before. All right, sick. Oh, I got one of the vines off. Weird. Dude, this has got to be doable, right? Dude, I'm so close. Yeah, I think Twilight Princess will make it. Either the GameCube version, which would be fine. Unlike Wind Waker in that sense, the GameCube version of Twilight is... Oh, it doesn't work. Oh. Unlike Wind Waker, the GameCube version of Twilight... Oh, what? I could just burn it? I knew that. I was just trying it the hard way first. So yeah, like Wind Waker on GameCube is a little bit crustier than Wind Waker HD. And while they're both great games, I would argue the HD edition is a little bit more approachable in the modern era. But Twilight Princess doesn't have that problem. Twilight Princess, in fact, I would argue that the GameCube version of Twilight Princess is better than Twilight Princess HD. Because the GameCube version of Twilight Princess doesn't gatekeep one of the coolest parts of the game behind an amiibo. So when they made Twilight Princess HD, they locked the 50-floor dungeon behind the Wolf Link amiibo. I'm fairly certain you need it to even engage with that content. Whereas in the original GameCube version and the original Wii version, you could just do the 50-floor dungeon for funsies. It was just side content in the game. So, like, interestingly enough, Wind Waker coming to GameCube was cool, but we would prefer HD edition if we could get our hands on it. But I love the GameCube version. But Twilight Princess, we want the GameCube version. We want them to bring that to the NSO because that's the better version that doesn't have weird content locked out because they got weird on the Wii U. So like it's very interesting. I would love for them to bring Twilight Princess over. But I would take the HD version of both. I'm assuming it's on the way. We've been saying that for 5 years, literally a half a decade. But I still assume that we're going to get HD Wind Waker and Twilight either in some sort of dual pack release. Because, like, to be fair, they probably shouldn't be $60 a pop. So, like, I would hope that they would be, like, some kind of deal. But, you know, we're talking about Nintendo, so. Ooh. $30. Right, like, I would like it if they did... Oh, I was trying to move. I knew the bomb was coming. What I would like them to do is $30 individually. So here's what they're going to do with Wind Waker. I'll call it right now. If they release Wind Waker and Twilight Princess together, they'll do what they did with Mario Galaxy. They'll be $40 individually, or they'll be $60 together. Which, at that point, that would actually be a pretty good deal. $40 is a lot for an old game, but it's worth it. Yeah, they'll probably do 40. 40 seems to be their bottom ceiling, their floor. Bottom ceiling? What the... It seems like 30s, like 40's their floor, right? Like Metroid Prime Remaster was 40. Seems like that's their floor. Yo, what up, sarcasm? But I mean, 30 would be a dream. I have never played Darksiders. Yeah, no, I've heard good things about Darksiders. In fact, I have played Darksiders. I have. But I've never really got well acquainted with it. Darksiders was super cool. I never got really well acquainted with it because I didn't own the game or anything. I think I played like the first or second. I want to say it was like the PlayStation era. Let me go look really quick. I want to say it was like the PlayStation era. It says PlayStation 3. Yeah, PlayStation 3. I remember playing Darksiders, but I don't think I got well acquainted with it at all. Interesting. It was on Windows. Darksiders 2 was on PC. Oh, I need to bomb you. Okay. Okay, Chief. That might not be close enough. Okay. All right. Okay. Fourth time's the charm. Yo, good morning, Toon. How you doing today, Toon? What's up, Yows? Okay, sick. Ooh, I love this room. This room's nice and bright. Sick. It wasn't really like this in the original because the original didn't have as dynamic of lighting. So you wouldn't even have known that the roof was open in this room in the original. I'm going to be real. I don't think you would even have known that the roof was open in here. It wasn't really that bright. But they decided to like change up the lighting, and this is kind of cool. I like this. Now I wonder if there's a day-night cycle like outside in here. Probably not. So this is probably a fixed room, if I had to guess. Cool. Did you play the first one? Was remastered on Steam? Oh, sick. You like a good remaster. I hate this so much. Worst mechanic ever. Okay, we got it on accident. Let's just take it. Yo, listen, Binks, it's okay, dude. Nintendo can't get you here. You don't have to talk like that. Okay, Nintendo can't get you here, dude. It's all right. You can be honest. This is a safe space. Are you getting paid? What up? What up, Toy Star? My message was a mess. Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. It's my birthday today, and my husband and I are finally getting away for the night, just the two of us. Oh, do you guys have kids or something? Yo, happy birthday to Nick82. Happy birthday to Nick82, dude. Do y'all have kids or something? Is that what you're getting away from? Or just in general, just getting a night on the town? I was just curious. Usually when people say that, they'll be like, they're trying to get a break from... You guys have 3 kids? Oh, lordy. Oh, well, happy birthday, man. It sounds like you deserve a little breather, dude. I'm super happy to hear you're taking a breather for your birthday. Take it easy, all right? Take it easy. I hope you and your hubby have a wonderful trip. There's something in this room I want. I want what's in here. Dude, that's awesome. That's super awesome, man. I hope you have a great birthday. Birthday love in the chat if you got a free hand. I love the Windwanker. The Windwanker. Oi, bruv. You're just a Windwanker. That's a good comment. I like that. What's up, Rory? Oi. You want to play some knifey spoony, wanker? I think I just mixed British and Australian, and now I'm gonna get sued by somebody. Probably one of my top 3 Zelda games. Yeah, dude, I love this game. Going good. We just got into the Forbidden Woods. How's the Wind Winkin' going? We just got into the Forbidden Woods. Frick, I forget how to put stuff down. All right, how do we put stuff down? R, okay. This big freaking monolith of a controller is the most unintuitive thing to use on planet Earth. Oh, it's Taco's birthday as well today? Yo, dude, what's up? Happy birthday to Taco as well. We got birthdays in the chat this morning. What's up? All right, let's go. Put this bad boy down. Okay, we're good. Peace. Dude, what up, Lost Bull? Your birthday was yesterday? What's up, Keith? Or Keith? It would be Keithius, maybe? Keith? Happy birthday to you as well. Birthday celebrations all around. April birthdays. Yeah, what's up, Green Lanyard? Good to see you. Ooh. We made it to the center. We made it to the center room. I love that Link looks at stuff. You see this? So in this game, you get a lot of clues from Link. You get a lot of clues from Link in this game. It's awesome. Link will look up at something. So if you do that gamer thing, you know, gamers never look up and you're stuck. A lot of times he will just look at the object that you need to interact with. He'll show some interest in like the object that you need to interact with. It's super cool. That was always one of my favorite things about this game. The expressions on Link and how he naturally is just as curious as you are about the dungeon. And it really gives you an even stronger sense of connection to the game, I feel. All right, we're going this way first. I need to bring a thing over here. Here it is. I need one of these big old nuts. Yeah. There it is. Ooh, I almost missed that jump. All right, let's go this way first and activate this pot. This pot will give us the ability to skip through the temple in case we make a mistake. Now, we are playing on normal mode, so it's not as dire. It's not as dire of a situation. We get hearts pretty regularly. Ooh, the classic sound, baby. You know you're doing something right. All right, let's jump over. Fudge gets it. Fudge understands. Oh, it's this little jerkwad down here. Look at these little jerkwads. I'm coming down here. These little eyeball guys were always so gross to me. They're not even like that gross looking or anything. They were just always so gross to me because they would get stuck to you and it was like, ugh, don't touch me, dude. Don't touch me, dude. Ugh, get off me. Ugh. You can cut these bushes down. I need these bushes in Pokopia or Animal Crossing to decorate with. Wish they'd make a new Toon Link game. Dude, you and me both. You and me both. The invasiveness is definitely gross. Yeah. Okay. Going back this way, I believe. And then this way. And then this way. Nope, no, dead end. This way. Excuse me. Don't mind if I do. Okay. Now we need to get to the bombs. Frick, I forgot to get to the bombs. Forgot that was my first goal. All right, let's just jump over and get to them. No, don't roll. Yikes. What up, Kai Bells? I think this is just money, magic. We'll take it. Nice. All right, open up that, and then I think we can get the bomb to the other door from here as well. Got it. Okay. Got it. Got it. Got it. What up, Godfather? Is you a Zelda games veteran? Yeah, sure. I'd like to think so. Yeah, I've been playing Zelda games my whole life. My first Zelda game was Link to the Past. And I couldn't beat it. It was too hard. So then, not too long after, I got my first console that was actually mine. You see, I was playing A Link to the Past at my friend's house. So I got my first console that was mine, and it was a Game Boy, a brick Game Boy. And I got a copy of Tetris with it. And then, like, very shortly after, I got my hands, like, very shortly. I can't remember how I got it. I think it was a gift. I got Link's Awakening. So Link's Awakening for the Game Boy. And I fell in love with Link's Awakening. And this time it was mine. Frick. I didn't press the right button. So this time the game was mine, which meant I could play it as long as I want, and I could spend time solving the puzzles and stuff, because before A Link to the Past, I was only playing it at my friend's house. So I got Link's Awakening, and it was the first Zelda game I ever beat. I believe is how the story goes. I'm trying to think. Did I get it mixed up? No, that's it. Or it was the other way around. I played A Link's Awakening first and couldn't beat it, and then I eventually went and beat A Link to the Past. I think it was the other way around. I'm tired today. I'm getting my story mixed up. And I was forever hooked. Yeah, because A Link to the Past was the first Zelda game I ever beat. Yeah, okay, so it took me a second to get there. So yeah, Link to the Past was the first Zelda game I ever beat. A Link's Awakening, I played first. And I couldn't beat it. I was struggling on the Game Boy. I couldn't get past some of the puzzles. I couldn't figure some of this stuff out. And then eventually my best friend had A Link to the Past, and I was able to play it at his house. And I eventually beat the game. It took me months of visiting my buddy on the weekends. So funny, I reverse that. Scratch it and reverse it. I owned A Link's Awakening and I couldn't beat it. I was struggling with that game as a kid, which, if you really think about it, A Link's Awakening has like less guidance than A Link to the Past. Like, if you really think about it, Link to the Past has more guidance. Like, there's a little bit more guidance in like where you're going in the game. But Link's Awakening doesn't really tell you anything. It's just like, it's all a dream. And you're just like, you have to just kind of figure stuff out. They don't really tell you much at all in that game. Whereas like in A Link to the Past, they kind of like, there's some resemblance of guidance. They kind of tell you where the dungeons are. They kind of like help you figure out where you're going. It's like it's not as loosey-goosey, from what I remember correctly. So it kind of makes sense now that I think about it, now that I'm chatting about it. Wait, I want your golden feathers. I forgot we need to start farming these early. Get that free heart piece. Finally a day off. Dude, good morning, Strato. Enjoy your coffee, dude. Back up, fool. So yeah, A Link to the Past was the first Zelda game I ever beat. A Link's Awakening was the first I ever played. First Zelda game I ever played was Link's Awakening. And I was hooked. I loved the game a lot. And I struggled to beat it. I was really young. I think I got my first Game Boy in 95. So you have to realize I was 6 years old trying to beat a Zelda game. And like, dude, it was tough, man. It was tough, dude. And I think I beat Link to the Past the year after. So I think I was 7. Couldn't get past the mysterious forest till I lost the game in the house for several years. Classic gaming as a kid. Yeah, I think I was 8 years old when I beat my first Zelda game. Seven or 8. The feeling of accomplishment from beating A Link to the Past still sticks with me to this day. Because that game was no joke. Man, I got stuck on Turtle Rock for what felt like about four weeks, like a month. A month of nothing but Turtle Rock because I kept running out of magic by the time I would get to the boss and I couldn't beat the boss. It sucked, dude. I kept running out of magic in Turtle Rock, dude, and Link to the Past. And I couldn't figure out how to... I couldn't figure out the perfect path to get to the boss. So I had the whole dungeon complete, right? But I would waste all of my magic trying to get to the boss because it was like a whole minecart maze in the dark, basically. So by the time I would get to the boss, I wouldn't have enough magic, even with like all my bottles with blue potions. I was just that bad at video games that like I would get to the boss and I would have like at most 3 potions left, you know, maybe all 4. And then I would have to try to fight the boss and you drain so much magic with the ice and fire rod. The ice and fire rod just suck your magic out. It's gone, right? So man, I struggled with Turtle Rock as a kid. I still to this day have PTSD from Turtle Rock. Like when I go back to play A Link to the Past, I like dread going to Turtle Rock still to this day because it's like I don't want to do it again. Like please, dude. I dread it to this day. Ah, will you stop? Random zooming. Bunch of my Game Boy games were in my lunch bag. My mom put the bag in her closet and forgot the games were there. Oh, that sucks. All right, I think we're going this way. Going to get our boomerang. Let's go, boss time. Let's go, boss time. Are we gonna fight the monkey? Oh no, we're fighting. Sorry, I'm thinking of Twilight Princess. All right, hold on a second. I need to pet my cat. She's getting all the love. Hold on. Okay. I'm still terrible at games. That's all right. It's an honest thing to admit that. All right. Dun, 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 dun. Shut up. Ooh. Shut up. Got him. One wing down. Don't poop on me like that. Other wing. Oh, nope. Bum, bum. Oh, I love doing the jump slash against it. You can barely move when you have this stuff on you. Look. Look, dude. You can somehow still parry, though. Good morning, Midna Majesty. Here, I'll give her some more pets. think is fat rolling. That's funny. That's a good comment, actually. Like fat rolling in Dark Souls. All right, where's my boomerang? Boomerang. Boomerang in this game's fun. Probably the most fun version of the boomerang out there, huh? Probably. I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of... I wasn't a big fan of the boomerang in... Okay, so we don't want to put boomerang on Y. We want to put boomerang on R. Because of the way this controller's designed. That's fine. Alright, where's my... Yeah, I think this might be my favorite boomerang. I really like the boomerang in A Link to the Past. I do like it in Twilight Princess. That's the one that probably comes to mind for people the most. Is like Twilight Princess's tornado boomerang. I wasn't really a big fan of it, dude. I thought it was kind of lame. What up, Spankum Nasty? Hey. Like, it's not that it was bad. It just wasn't... I wouldn't say that Twilight Princess's boomerang was bad. It just wasn't like that cool. It was just, it was kind of random. Just like, oh, now you got a tornado boomerang, and you're just like, okay. Like, thanks. Sure. Link's Awakening's boomerangs. Yeah, Link's Awakening boomerang is so good. Yeah, I might have needed these to jump across. I can't remember. Dude, lots of birthdays in the chat. One more round of love for the birthday fam in the chat today. Taco and Nick82 and Kalithus. Happy birthdays, y'all. All right, I can do this jump. I can do this jump without those. It's just tight. I would have been 7 in 96. Would have been a little 7-year-old rat. N64 just released, basically. My family couldn't afford one for quite a while. So in 96, we probably, in our house, we had... My brother probably just brought home a 64, right? When did the N64 release in America? N64... release. Yeah, 96 September. So yeah, it's 96. So like at that point in time, all we had in our house was a Sega Genesis, probably a Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Nintendo. We probably had a Super Nintendo. No, I never had a Super Nintendo for like a long time. Only my buddy did. No, eventually I got a Super Nintendo because I remember I stole Donkey Kong Country 3 from Blockbuster and my mom was pissed. I didn't steal it. We just rented it and I never took it back. So yeah, we had a Super Nintendo, a Sega, a Nintendo, and then I had a brick Game Boy. And that would have been it for my house in 96. My brother was at the time like started selling a bunch of weed and stuff. So he eventually started having his own income. And my brother was able to start buying consoles. So I did get treated briefly to some expensive consoles as a kid. Because like randomly my brother was just getting money and like nobody really questioned how, but we all knew how. So he would just randomly come home with like N64 and then he would keep it for like 2 months and then he would sell it. And then he came home with a Dreamcast when that released and then he would keep it for like a couple months and then he would sell it. And then I think he came home with a PlayStation 2 at one point. But the general rule of thumb for my household is that we were always way behind with consoles. So you know what I was playing in 96? I think I know exactly what I was playing. I know exactly what I was playing in 96. No, never mind. It was 98. So it wasn't until 98 that I got my Pokemon Yellow and Turquoise Game Boy. So I probably wrote out my brick Game Boy into 98. Then I got Pokemon Yellow and the Game Boy Color. I got that Christmas. So I was pretty much in the Stone Age for years. And again, my brother and my friends. My brother would randomly come home with consoles, and then my friends would have them as well. The scream and then the stop. What? Freaking Windbreaker, man. What? Okay. I guess Y for hook shots not the worst. Bam, 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 bam. Oh, these grabby hands. These weird hands that would make you think about the Ocarina of Time, bottom of the well enemies. Oh, these hands were so creepy. They instantly made you think of Ocarina of Time, bottom of the well. What these hands actually do is they suck your NPC, your mana out of you. See, these are draining my mana right now. Look. Link does not look pleased with them on him. Look at him. Watch his face. Look at. That's exactly what I would look like if those things were touching me too, dude. I just wonder if you just can't get this chest if you break. Can you just not get this chest if you break that before you come over here? You could probably glide over. Pokemon Gold with the lime green Game Boy Color. Yeah, I got Yellow, and then the next year. So I don't know exactly when Yellow released, but not too long after, my auntie, and it was like my favorite aunt at the time, on my dad's side of the family, showed up one day in the car, and she was like, "What do you want for your birthday?" She just asked me, and you never got those types of questions as a kid, right? Like, people were always stupid about it. Like, I don't know, like, as a kid, like, nobody ever, like, asked you, you know? Like, so that she was so cool because she was just like, "What do you want?" And I was like, "What?" And she's just like, "Yeah, what do you want? What do you want for, for your birthday?" And I'm like, "What?" Like, I remember, like, I was shocked, and I'm in the car, and I'm like, and as a kid, this lady, I didn't really know her too well, and I thought she was beautiful. She was my aunt, and I thought she was super pretty. So for some reason, it was like really hard for me to talk to her because I was just a hopeless and a helpless romantic growing up. So I remember sitting in the car, and I was just like, "What? Like, you're talking to me? Like, what?" And I just blurted out Pokemon Gold. I was like, "Pokemon Gold just came out. Like, I would love that game." And dude, she showed up with Pokemon Gold for my birthday, dude. And I got Pokemon Gold, and she gave my nephew at the time Pokemon Silver so that we could have matching games. So me and my nephew got to play Pokemon Gold and Silver together, which was awesome. Yeah, that's cool. So that was my first 2 Game Boy Color games. I didn't really get a ton of Game Boy Color games. So I played mostly just Game Boy games on the Game Boy Color with like extra perks, basically, right? And then I did eventually get Link's Awakening DX. I did eventually get Link's Awakening DX, the colored version, and at that point I had already beat a Link's Awakening at like once, and I went and I beat it the second time in color, and that was a pretty special moment as well. To be able to see a game that you played in black and white, and then like to see that game again in color was a pretty big deal for me as a kid, right? Like you don't think about it now because like the modern era, but that was like a pretty big deal as a kid. Like to see a game that I had already played to return in color was like, whoa, like, what do you mean, dude? And they added a whole dungeon and stuff. And like a whole like feature where you could get like a special armor. All right, I need to jump in here, if I remember correctly. I eventually bought my own Super Game Boy. That's right. I eventually brought... So I lived in the land of... I remember what we're doing here. So I lived in the land of... what I believe to be the land of... How do I crawl again in this game? I thought crawling was just holding down a button. Why am I literally can't, no, I literally cannot play this game on this D-pad. I hate this gamepad so much. Okay. Gosh, this gamepad is so cumbersome. Yeah, I eventually got a job as a kid, and I shoveled snow from the age of like probably 10, maybe 11 to the age of like 16, where I wasn't allowed to be in the program anymore. And I would shovel snow all winter, and I would get anywhere between like, depending on the amount of snow and depending on if the old ladies liked me or not, I learned how to game them over the years. I'd get anywhere between like $100 to $300 every winter. So this was massive for a broke kid, you know? So I bought my first Super Game Boy. For those that don't know, the Super Game Boy was a device that you would plug into your Super Nintendo that you could play your Game Boy games on your TV, right? They eventually brought this back in a form and the Nintendo 64 with Pokemon Stadium, and they eventually, yeah, Pokemon Stadium had this feature built into it, but the Super Game Boy was iconic. You would plug in a Super Nintendo cartridge with a Game Boy game, and then they eventually brought it back for the Gamecube officially, in the form of the Game Boy Advanced Game Boy player. It was awesome, dude. It was so awesome. Yeah, it's funny because I didn't realize what I was buying back then. Like, I bought the Super Game Boy on a whim. So what I was trying to say was I grew up in the land of resales, like big time, y'all. Like, I don't know about everyone else's experience, but in Ohio and where I lived in Ohio growing up, we had so many video game resale shops. I had one literally down the road from me. And I would go there by myself as a kid. I would just walk into the game shop. I would trade games all on my own, like, volition. Like, I'd walk in there like I was an adult. I'd be trading games. I'd bring up a sack of quarters and I'd buy a Super Nintendo game for freaking... And now I'm going to sound old right now, but I swear to you, I would bring in quarters from my dad's quarter bucket, and I could buy Super Nintendo games with quarters. Like, I would usually about $5 to $10 worth of quarters, and I would buy Super Nintendo games. And I would try so many games. I probably tried and purchased 50 different Super Nintendo games as a kid. And I would just buy a new one, I would trade it in, I would buy a new one, I would trade it in. I'd bring some quarters to deal with the cost difference. And it was quite a time. It was quite a time to be alive as a kid, man. Yeah, Funko Land. Yeah. We had a Funko Land in Ohio up until recently. Like up until recently, there was a Funko Land in what is it called? It's called Coventry in Cleveland. This place called Coventry. There used to be a Funko Land. They shut it down recently. It's sad. Oh yeah, dude. I was able to get Mega Man X for $10. I'll never forget that. $10 loose cart. That game's like a $50 game now. It's nuts. Yeah, it's good times, man. I was able to go and just buy games as a kid. And then that's not to mention like emulation. I had access to emulation as well, but buying the games was like way cooler. And I didn't really have access to PCs a bunch until like 98, 99, maybe in like 2000. Yeah, just loose. The loose cart, I think, is like $50. You have to look it up. My numbers could be off, but you know, retro gaming has gotten a lot more popular the past 3 or 4 years, so games have just gone up a lot. But I think the loose cart of Mega Man X is probably only like $50 right now. If loose A Link to the Past was 50, if loose Turtles in Time was like 50. I think it's like $50. Yeah. But now if you have like complete in the box, then you're cooking with A Link to the Past. Or sorry, with everything. I mean, that's like a given. Everything is super expensive in box, right? That's just like a rule of thumb. Yo, what's up, Loud Boys? Rumors are out for Tomb Raider. The new Tomb Raider Legacy Atlantis trailer will be out February 12th, 2027. Oh, nice. Yeah, somebody asked me earlier about the Ocarina of Time remakes rumors. And yeah, I'm here for it, dude. I'm excited. We got the big key. I got this super dope mat, like a doormat when you walk into my house that references Zelda and the big key. Hey, I forget how far their freaking punch goes. Their punch always gets me. See, I'm telling you, that punch gets me every time. It has such range.
Glad I met you. I think 5 years ago.
I love that. I love the butt slash. I love that. I forgot. I forgot about the butt slash. Thanks for 60 months, E-Talker. I forgot about the butt slash where the poke. And they're like, ow, 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 ow. I couldn't do my counter there. They got my fairy out of me. I was like half paying attention. Mom's taking me to my first Pokemon card pop-up later. What's a Pokemon card pop-up? I don't even know what that is. I mean, from context, it sounds cool though. Yo, thank you, E-Talker, dude. All right, let's go. Take some magic and cruise on through. What up, Doom? Doom Slayer? Welcome to the show, buddy. Going up. Oh, no. No. What is this, Sonic Adventure? No. No. Do cats like certain things on a TV? Sure. I've heard that can help calm a cat down. Give them a little bit of sense of like presence. And you could put like fun stuff on the TV, like birds and fish or something like that. Especially if you don't have like many accessible windows for them to sit out or something like that. Oh, get off me. Pokemon vendors selling cards in different locations. Yeah, that's cool. That's super rad. Favorite music in Disney songs? I don't know, man. I always thought that the singing in Disney movies was cringe, and I always kind of hated it growing up. But like as an adult now, it's like whatever. Like watching the Blues Brothers, I like the singing in that. But that's a little different. I don't know, if I had to choose a favorite song from the Disney universe, I guess it would be Zero to Hero from Hercules. Zero to Hero, da, na, 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 or something like that. Zero to Hero and Hercules. Zero to Hero and Hercules. That's the jam right there. If I had to choose. I haven't seen Hercules in 20 years. I haven't seen that movie in so long. I'm not even sure if I would still like it. I'm sure I would. But you know what I mean? Like, that's how long it's been. It's like, for being my favorite Disney series, I really don't remember much about it. All right, you guys ready? Probably got most of the chest. We're not doing 100% this time, so it's not that big of a deal, but seems like we got all the loot from this dungeon, which is easy to do in this game. Oh, no, we did miss 2 chests. There you go. When you're not actively attempting to do an 100%, you're going to miss some stuff. We missed 2 chests. One of them might have been something good, but it was probably all trash. I'm not ready. Let me get my gardening gloves. Should I leave the dungeon and do the hack, the cheat? Let's leave the dungeon and do the cheat. You guys know about the cheat here? Let's leave the dungeon and do the cheat. So if we bring spring water here from the Forest Haven, I can't find words, we can kill this boss in 1 hit. There's a 1-hit cheat code that was discovered years later. So if you bring the water, from, this is not going to end well. What am I doing? If you bring water from the inside of the Forest Haven and you pour the water perfectly on the boss when he opens up his flower, you can literally one-tap him. It's really cool. I've only ever done it once back in 2019. I didn't even do it in 2021 when I 100%ed the game. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to do it today. Let's show it off. Gonna be sick. Yeah, let's show it off. Let's see if it works. It's been a while, so I could mess it up. I could have to do it more than once. I do have 2 bottles, so I could, in theory, get 2 bottles of water just in case I fail. Yeah, I've only ever done it once. I did it once on stream back in 2019. What's happening? This gamepad, dude. I can barely get comfortable playing this thing. We might not even make this. Oh my lord. All right, I need to use the restroom. That's why I'm getting frustrated. I'll be right back. I'm like trying to play the game and I got a tinkle and it's just the worst combination on the planet. So I'll be right back. Nothing worse than having to pee. Thought for sure I was going to come back dead. Sorry about that, y'all. All right. All right, I think we have the wind going in the right direction. I guess they want me to go to that island again first. We can make this. I'm convinced we got this. Spicy meatball. All right, I think we just grab the water from anywhere, and then we have to rush. We have to be pretty fast. We only have like 20 minutes or something, even though I think that the HD version of this game makes this a lot easier to do. All right. Oh, I gotta grab it from where it's pulling up over here. Yeah, here we go. All right, here we go. Oh no, is it not from here? Is it over here and down in this corner? I think it has to be like water that you're standing in or something. I didn't want to go anywhere that it was too deep because I'm trying to be fast. All right, here we go. We have 30 minutes. Oh, we're fine. Oh, we're fine. But yeah, this game, I think this game increases the time by like 10 minutes. Oh, they only let me have one bottle. Oh, wow. They're being punks. All right, let's cruise. Yo, what up, 8 feet? Good to see you today, dude. Well, they tried to play me there. Wrong button. All right, we don't want to mess up. We can take our time. We have the whole dungeon cleared. All we have to do is go through the secret pots. We're good, we're good. We should get there with about 15 minutes to spare. But then we have to not mess up using the bottle. It's been so long, I really don't know what I'm getting into. It's just been a while, so like I don't know for sure what I'm getting into here. 1 second here, chat. I want to quickly put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I hate feeling vibrations randomly. I'm just trying to work, you know? I don't want distractions. Do 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 do. Over here waking winds while you're breaking winds? Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. What up, homemade alien? Oh, dang, we don't have magic. That's not good. Frick, hold on a second. We gotta go back through here real quick. Hopefully the wind stays. Okay. What up, Triple P? H-Des waves in the chat. Wave them on in. All right, we're cruising. Do 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 do. All right, got it. Gotta change the wind and then wait. Gotta change the wind and wait. Yeah, it's too soon. No, we're going for it. We're gonna go for it. Oh, was it too soon? No, we got it. Perfect timing. Now we got to avoid the boys. Now, if we use this technique, we might be able to keep them away from us. All right, we're in. We're back. Let's go. All right, here we go. All right, one more time. Okay. Let's equip it and let's go. Let's see if we can do this. It's been a long time. I'm going to save. That might not matter. We probably still have to go back and get the water at this point if we fail. So, because I think the water's just going to die if we reload. All right, it's not too hard to do. I'm just nervous. We have to knock them down and have the plant be open. And then in the middle of the plant, when it's open, we have to pour the water. It's not too bad. We can do this. Yeah, we're playing the HD version of this game right now. What's up, Isle? Good to see you. Boom, 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 boom. Get away from me! Why did I invert the camera? I wanted to feel like I was 1999 again. Stop! All right, got him. Done. One shot. Yo, look how much fun we're having. Yo, look how much fun we're having. Yeah, the only unfortunate part about doing that is we just missed out on one of the greatest songs. I agree with you. The music is so good. Nailed it. You feel like 1980s? Yeah, for some reason I inverted the cameras because like that's what this game was like originally on GameCube, and it's been tripping me up the whole playthrough. Swordsman, are you the one who rescued me? You have my thanks. When all went dark around me, I thought my time on Earth was over. But why are you here, Swordsman? What, the Great Deku Tree sent you? Oh, that's right. Today's the day of the ceremony. I'm in trouble. I shouldn't be here. We gotta get out of here immediately. Okay, dude. Matt, yo, good morning, Matt. Welcome to the show. Good morning, Zella Zephra, and good morning, Matt. Welcome to the broadcast. I hope you're enjoying the show out there. I hope you enjoy The Legend of Zelda today. Some waves in the chat for Matt, who's enjoying the content here on the big screen. We're on the big screen today. Let them know. Let them know. Look, Mom, I made it. I'm on the big screen. All right, anyways. What up, DNA, bro? Yeah, no problem, Isle. Yeah, we're doing the HD version, and this game's gorgeous, no matter how you play it, as you said. Oh, Maker, you have returned safely. I'm sorry, Great Deku Tree. I know you warned us many times, but I still didn't listen.
Do not worry, Maker. You are safe now. Just be more careful from now on. You have done well, Chet. I must thank you for your brave deeds. Here is that which I have promised you. Please accept it.
Hey, the earth spirit, the Deku tree, has seen fit to give you this jewel, a treasure of the goddess Pharaoh.
It is my hope that this pearl shall lead you to a fair destiny. All is well, Maker. Do not cry. Please play your songs for me as you always do.
Oh, that's right. We gotta begin our ceremony. The day begin before the day ends. I'm sorry to keep you all waiting. Let the ceremony begin. Oh, great, chat. As my thanks to you, I shall play even harder than I normally do. I hope you enjoy it. All right, chat, let's jam. Sick. There's like a little bit of Hobbit energy in there. There was like a little bit of Spyro the Dragon energy in there. That one level with the bag flutes. There's a little bit of everything in the mix there. Great Deku Tree. This year you have once again produced some splendid seeds. With these seeds, we will continue to spread new forest across the great sea. Let us go, Koroks, to the sea. See you all next year. Take care. Farewell, great swordsman. May the wind of chance bring us together again someday. What a beautiful game. Tears of the Kingdom band cutscenes. What a good cutscene, dude. Yeah, Link's facial expressions are so good in this game. Sick. Because they knew they achieved perfection. I like that take on the Koroks. I agree. They kept the Koroks for so long. Wanted me to thank you. Then he asked if I sent you the picture of them changing colors, and I told him yes, you did. Hey, Matt with the cool glasses. Aw, y'all are being so cute. Hope you have a good day today, Zelda. All right. Ow. Talk to me, Papa.
So this place too has been attacked by Ganon. Could he already be regaining his power? Chat, you must get the remaining pearl. It lies in a place northwest of here. We must set sail immediately.
Do. Good morning. Letters for chat. We have one. Why does the mailbox talk to us? If you are reading this letter, it can only mean that you have peeked into one of our many post boxes. I am indebted to you. I am very sorry I let you leave without thanking you. Please accept my heartfelt apology along with my thanks. We cannot do much to help you, but we can at least do this. If we get any letters or parcels for you, we will deliver them to a post box near you. If you see any wiggling post boxes, please look inside them. I suppose you have a long way to go before your perilous journey is done. I have included a gift for you with my letter in the hope that it might help you. Please accept this small token. May fortune fill your wings. Komali's father. Nice, dude. A heart piece is a massive gift. All right, here's the shop. It's coming back. We're going to go to the shop real quick, see if we can spend some dough here. Now, I can't remember if the game wants me to go to Outset first or if I can go straight to Windfall Oh no, okay, we're going to the Great Sea. I know where we're going. We're good. We have to go realize that we have to go make the perpetual rainstorm activate, I think. Oh. Do. We'll grab some more bait. Thank you. Bye. Trying to spend some cash. We filled up our cash. Our wallet, rather. All right. Off to... Actually, our wind might be perfect already. Our wind is perfect. Well, before we go, though, let's find the fish and let's get this place marked off on the map. Didn't I just see him hopping? There he is. Boom, 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 boom. Let's go, fish. Got half the museum cleared out yesterday. I think I'm going to finish it. I think. I'm excited. Dude, Walnut, nice. I think we'll be doing clearing Pewter City as well. It sounds like a daunting task, but I think we're going to do it. The mailbox talking gives the same energy as the long-armed alien in Men in Black 2 when Jay tries to recruit Kay. Dude, what a reference. I love Men in Black. I haven't seen those movies in a while. All right, give us some information, talking fish with a paintbrush in your mouth. I might not be doing it 100% of this game, but I'll probably open up all of the maps because I do love opening up all the map. Like, there's just something about the cartography in the game that's so cool. I think that's one of my favorite parts of Wind Waker that I think a lot of people don't appreciate, which is fine. I'm not telling you how to live, but in this game, I think one of my favorite things about it is the cartography and like opening up all the maps. Oh, we can fight a giant Octorok now that we have the boomerang. We might not last against one that has too many eyeballs, but we could totally do that. Hold on, let me open up any treasure charts that I got. Okay, we're good. Oh yeah, now we get to explore a little bit. Do 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 do. Boom 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 boom. Zelda notes type integration with the Wind Waker map. That would be sick. Oh, nice. This is the Oasis Island. Let's go get this marked off on our map. Let's go and get this marked off of our map real quick. I need some more bait. Do you have a least favorite Zelda game? Sure. There's definitely something that's at the bottom of the list, right? But I don't have a least favorite, but I do have a game that's not, I don't like as much as like the other games. So I haven't played every Zelda game. The only Zelda game that I have yet to ever play are the CDI Zeldas. And I've never played Spirit Tracks. So keep that in mind. Now, the only Zeldas that I've never beat is Spirit Tracks, Zelda 2, and the CDI games. I think I've beat the rest of them at least once. So now that all being said, I kind of want to go to this fairy island. No, let's not do that. I would say out of every Zelda game I've played, I guess least favorite is... Oh, I never played Triforce Heroes. Sorry, so I never played Triforce Heroes or whatever as well. I imagine my least favorite would be Triforce Heroes, or I imagine my least favorite would end up being like... maybe like Spirit Tracks, right? If I had actually played them. I like Zelda 2, even though I've never beat it. Oh, dang it. I keep wasting bait. Well, good thing I'm at the shop. I like Zelda 2, even though I've never beat it. So I don't know if it's like my least favorite or not. I'm kind of dancing around the answer, but I guess the answer is probably Phantom Hourglass. But here's the thing, man. Phantom Hourglass was actually a good game. Like, it was actually a fun game. And it had a bunch of really cool, like, underexplored ideas in the Zelda universe. So I don't want to answer with Phantom Hourglass because I don't want to perpetuate the hate around Phantom Hourglass. Because, like, the game's not that bad. It's really not. It's just rough around the edges big time. But I think my answer is Phantom Hourglass. If I had to answer, it's probably Phantom. It was a good game. It just doesn't hold up to some of the other games. Yeah, it's hard to say. Bam, ba, bam, ba, bam, bam. All right. A famed photographer lives to the north of here in Windfall. He apparently is real wise and talented in the ways of pictography. He's even said to have a legendary pictographs that he treasures above all other things. Yeah, whatever, dude. Shut up. All right, let's go. I'm out of here. Doom, 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 doom. For me, for the few years in the 90s, a CDI media player came out and some games were made on it. It wasn't really meant for games. Yeah, correct. Yeah, so it was meant for games. It was like so basically what happened is Panasonic ended up working out a deal with Nintendo. I can actually tell you the full story real quick. So this is actually what happened according to Did You Know Gaming in my memory. So what happened was that Nintendo was supposed to get in bed with Sony with disc. You guys all know that story? Where Nintendo was supposed to get in bed with Sony about disc. A lot of us have heard that story, right? Well, Nintendo ended up kind of turning their back on Sony. And this was a big deal because in Japan at the time, it was even more important that Japan companies supported Japan companies. So Nintendo turning their back on Sony was actually more than just a dick move, because they kind of did it last minute when Sony was convinced that they were going to be working together, from what we understand. It also was like really frowned upon in the Japanese culture at the time, because it was like, you're not supporting like a company from our country. Like, what are you doing? Right. So anyways, Nintendo ends up turning their back on Sony. And again, from what I understand, they did this like kind of negatively. Like, they told Sony they were going to work with them, but then they realized it was a bad decision because Sony having like control over the games and what they're printed on was like a bad idea. So Nintendo like quickly realized this was a terrible decision because Sony was already a way big company. Remember, Sony at the time was already doing movies and TV and televisions and music. So Nintendo got like scared. And they were like, dude, actually, this is a terrible decision, which in hindsight, it probably was a terrible decision because Sony was like scraping. Like, if you put a game on a PlayStation, you're paying a bunch, like just like Nintendo. Like, Sony was charging plenty for you to use their console. So anyways, basically what happens is Panasonic, of all companies, and if you don't know who they are, just look them up. They do TVs and stuff as well. they ended up working with Nintendo. Nintendo, I think, reached out to Panasonic, or Panasonic reached out to Nintendo and was like, hey, we have this idea for a disc-based like system, and we want to use disc-based technology. Like, we want to work with you. And that's when I believe Nintendo decided to turn their back on Sony. And they were like, we're going to work with Panasonic. You know, again, a lot of people say this was one of Nintendo's biggest mistakes, along with getting rid of Rare and a couple other decisions like the GameCube and small disc. So Nintendo's made a couple fumbles, and some people feel that this was a big fumble, that they decided to go with Panasonic instead of Sony. And it would have been a completely different future. Who knows if Nintendo would even still be around? Sony could have ate them alive just like by consuming them back then. Who knows? So anyways, Panasonic and Nintendo get in bed and they develop a system. This old, crusty system that was meant to be like a media player that, like, I think played movies. I think it played music. It was meant to be like this like entertainment type device. And it just so happened to be able to play video games. But the games were like really bad. And the games were like really like Tim said in the chat, they weren't like regular video games. They were like a weird version of video games that used like a completely different technology than what we were used to. And thus the Zelda CDI games were born. And they were these weird, just like cobbled together kind of experiences that most people don't look at as like official Zelda games. Even though like technically they kind of were. They're just terrible and people don't like to think about them too much. I imagine that if you go back in time and you play those Zelda games, they're probably not that bad, but they're probably not far from good, right? Like, they're probably not that bad, but they're far from good is like the take from the CDI stuff. Yeah, I remember seeing Mario Hotel. It was literally a PowerPoint presentation. Yeah, like it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad, dude. Yo, let's go over here to this pirate tower real quick. Yeah, so there you go. There's a little bit of lore about the Panasonic console that didn't last long at all. There was a handful of games that got created for it though, because again, this was Nintendo's way to like start going towards disc technology. The problem is that Sony had too much of a lock on it, dude, and Sony didn't let up. So like eventually the Panasonic stuff didn't work out. Sony had a complete control over the market as far as like disc goes. And I don't remember the story, but there's a reason why like the Panasonic stuff didn't work out outside of the games just not being good. It mostly had to do with like Sony just like taking over. And I think that Sony was also like monopolizing the disc technology. Like, I think, like, if you wanted to make a game on the Panasonic, you still had to use Sony disc or something like that. So, like, even if you were gonna, like, make disc-based games, you still had to, like, give Sony money. And I think that was the inevitable downfall of the Panasonic system, was, like, Nintendo didn't really want to support it. And, like, it just was, like, all a mess anyways. Something along those lines. Remember, my history is a little bit dicey. I don't remember all the details. So if I get something wrong, you know, don't come at me too sideways, you know, just feel free to correct me or do some research or whatever. But yeah, it's been a while since I've thought about that. Yeah, I'm playing on the Wii U right now. Correct. Yeah, Blu-ray stuff is all Sony as well. Yeah, Sony pretty much has locked down that world for a long time. Like, I think back then they even had patents on like the first disc. I'm pretty sure. Like, they had straight up patents on like the first disc. Like, you couldn't make disc. Sony owned that technology. I don't know if they still do, but like Sony owned that technology. Like, you couldn't make disc or anything. Like, that's why Nintendo was so afraid to go in bed with them. Because like, again, like, I think that Nintendo made the right decision, because I think that you don't get in bed with Sony because Sony just runs everything. I think Nintendo in hindsight made the right decision. even if it took them a couple years to stop stumbling. Because like the 64 didn't sell that well, the GameCube didn't sell that well, and it wasn't until the Wii that they started finding their footing. Look, chat, do you see it? What has happened to this place? Yo, thanks for the biddies, by the way, Elliot. Panasonic is huge in vehicle manufacturing. That's what a weird factoid. What is the meaning of this? The island, it is... We're too late. I knew we had precious little time, but I never suspected how little. A great water spirit named Jabun once lived here, but there is no sign of him remains. Hoi, chat! Here comes our boy, the messenger. Do you prefer HD or GameCube? It's hard to say. I think I prefer GameCube, but I acknowledge that HD's the better game. Does that make sense? I think I prefer the original GameCube version of this game because I think that the pacing of the game is better suited for a guy like me who wants to spend as much time as possible in this world because I love it. But I can't help but to acknowledge that the HD edition did everything right. It did nothing wrong. It cleaned up the end of the game, which is a slog for most players. It added the swift sale, but made you have to earn it. And it did everything right. Like Wind Waker HD is the perfect example of like a remaster being locked in and it not having any tomfoolery. Again, I can't help but mention Twilight HD. Twilight HD locked content behind amiibos. So no matter how great Twilight Princess HD is, that was a pretty weird thing for them to do. So I think that Twilight Princess on GameCube or Wii is actually the superior way to play those games because you're getting content that you don't have to buy an amiibo for. It might not be the biggest deal to some people. It was just the 50-floor dungeon, but it matters to me. So I think Wind Waker HD is the better version of Wind Waker, but I think Twilight Princess GameCube and Wii is the better version of Twilight Princess. So I kind of have different opinions for both. But again, if I do really love traditional GameCube Wind Waker. There's just something that's charming about it, and the pacing of it feels more accurate to the times that it came out, and like it made sense. But I feel like in Wind Waker for GameCube, you feel the lack of dungeons in the game more. You feel it. You feel that lack of like, man, there should have been one or two more dungeons, and there was one or two more planned, but the game got cut short. But in Wind Waker HD, they fixed the pacing at the end, and you don't feel that pain anymore. So that's the thing. Like Wind Waker HD is the better game. Like objectively, like they fixed the pain of the end game grind, and they you don't feel the pain of the lack of dungeons anymore because the game is faster paced. When you play HD edition, you just pump through the game. It's all just perfectly paced. You never hit a lull. You go from dungeon to dungeon to, quest to dungeon to quest to dungeon to Triforces to end of the game. It's over. It's all just really well paced. It's like on beat. But when you play the GameCube version, you hit some slogs. And the big notable one is the Triforce quest. And like that slows the whole game down, and you don't really get to interact with a dungeon again for like the whole rest of the game. And you start to feel that pain of those missing dungeons that are rumored and somewhat confirmed that this game had 2 dungeons planned that didn't make the cut. So that's my take on Wind Waker HD versus traditional Wind Waker and how they both kind of interact. As an OG gamer, I like the GameCube version. I think it does everything that I always wanted it to do. But I do think that as a modern gamer, Wind Waker HD is by far the better game. It's better paced. It has better systems. It makes more sense, and it's a lot cleaner to play. So it's kind of I kind of like both for different reasons, right? I like the idea of DLC on Amiibo having a physical representation for the money I spent, but I can see your argument as well. Yeah, well, taking a game that had content that they lock some of that content behind an Amiibo just feels bad. It's different. Like it's different from them releasing a new game with DLC content. That's one thing, right? Like that's cool, right? Like, okay, they release a new video game And that game has physical DLC amiibos. Cool. But what I'm talking about is completely different. They took a game that was 20 years old, remastered it, and then took the 50-floor dungeon from the game and locked it behind an amiibo. That's not fun. That's not cool at all. That's lame that you just took a chunk of the game and you locked it out from the original game. That's not how remasters are supposed to work. That's like super unfair, and you're taking away the original essence of the game. Like, you're expecting somebody to go buy a physical toy to play a part of the game that was super important. The 50-floor dungeon was awesome, dude. It made the game feel even more fleshed out. So that's the difference. Like, I agree that physical amiibos are cool, but like, you don't do that to a game that's 15 years old. You just don't do that. Yeah, like, it sucks, dude. Yeah, and Twilight Princess. Yeah, you can't do the 50-floor dungeon without the Woof amiibo, the Woof Link amiibo. I'm fairly certain you can't do the physical, you can't do the dungeon. It's just not accessible at all. Yeah, I do like randomizers. Yeah, I've done about 3 randomizers for Wind Waker over my years. Is that from a business perspective with the amiibo controversy, or do you enjoy playing the original Twilight Princess more than HD? Yeah, no, I don't think you can do the dungeon at all without the amiibo, but I could be wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. It's been a while. I know we only ever did that dungeon once in HD, so I got the game specifically for the amiibo to use in Breath of the Wild. You can't. Yeah, right. So yeah, I'm fairly certain you just can't even do the dungeon at all. I found that out the hard way playing it in 2019. What's up, Jazzy? So you're here. I've been looking for you. Are you by chance seeking the great spirit Jabun? I'm sorry to report to you that Jabun can no longer be found here. Just look at how this place has been torn to pieces. I suppose this too is the work of the Shadow in the Forsaken Fortress. But fear not, Jabun was able to flee this island before it was attacked. He is in a safer abode now. Would you like to guess where that abode may be? On the island where you were born, on Outset. Yet, even if you were to go to Outset now, you would not be able to see Jabun. The cave where he hides is sealed with a mighty stone slab that repels all who try to pass it. Why, not even the pirates with their mighty ship could get in. I must apologize, chat. I thought if anyone would know of your whereabouts, it would be the pirates. I told them that this tale without so much of a thought of the consequence. So I don't know what they hoped to get, but they immediately set sail for Outset Island and tried to break into the cave. It is lucky they could not gain entrance. I have heard that they were last spotted on Windfall Island, but doing what, I do not know. If you wish to see Jabun, I think you'd better search for the pirates on Windfall Island. What an eerie island this is. Everywhere else boasts clear skies and calm seas, but this place suffers under dark clouds and rain. Valu must have been right when he asked me to bring word of Jabun to you. He called this island cursed. I would counsel against staying here longer than you have to, but that is your decision. I have told you of Jabun, so my task is complete. Link's face at the end. So Jabun has survived. The sea spirit has lived through the trials of many long years. He must have caught wind of Ganon's attack beforehand. If you are to believe the words of the Rito postman, then the pirates know something about the cave where Jabun hides. Why don't we go first to Windfall and search for them there? All right, let's go. Oh wait, I need to know where I'm going. Okay, so ultimately the graphics matter more to me. I prefer GameCube Wind Waker's graphics. I prefer HD's gameplay changes. The graphic changes don't really bother me too much. I'm not a big graphics guy. I don't really care what a game looks like most of the time. Like it can turn me off a little bit, but I'm not a big graphics guy. I don't really care. I think that Wind Waker HD and Twilight Princess HD virtually play exactly the same, to the point to where Wind Waker even provides the option to invert the controls. So I think gameplay wise, like they're basically identical, right? Like there's not really many changes. Now there are some changes to like some of the loot and stuff. Like Wind Waker changes some of the loot and how some of the loot works. Specifically the shield, the magic shield, right? I think that works different in HD. I don't remember many differences to the gameplay of Twilight Princess HD at all. I feel like that game is pretty one for one. Yeah? Pikachu. Pikachu. Always small fry. Yeah, I don't remember if Twilight Princess HD is much different than regular. There's just the bonus cave. Yeah, I didn't realize that it was a bonus cave. Thanks for correcting me, chat room. Then my opinion of Twilight Princess HD shouldn't be as negative as it is, because I was just genuinely mad about them locking out the cave. So yeah, like if I misremembered that, then I really have nothing negative to say about Twilight HD, to be honest. My favorite part about Twilight HD is that they let you choose the GameCube version or the Wii version. If you play hero mode, it's Wii. If you play normal mode, it's GameCube. And I think that is the coolest thing ever. I think that's so rad. Boom, boom, boom. All right, Windfall Island next. I love when the music's like this. Harvest Moon Magical Melody Wii remake, getting rid of the option to play as a girl. Wait, did Harvest Moon Magical Melody get a remake on Wii? Oh, that's so sad. I didn't know that. I wonder if that's why we haven't got one yet on the Switch. Cave of Shadows is separate. Ah, yeah, I didn't realize that. I thought it was all just one cave. And I just remember going back in 2019, I vaguely remember, like, I vaguely misremembered, like, having to use this amiibo to get into the cave. But it's a separate cave. Yeah, I didn't realize. I didn't realize that at all. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's a ton of differences. I do understand preferring the older graphics though, because there is something charming about older graphics, right? I do respect that. That's like such a like a based take. The idea of like liking the older games graphics, that's such a based take. Because like as things get modern, they do get cartoonier, they do get brighter, and like the lighting changes. You know, I don't know. I can't remember how different Twilight Princess's graphics were HD, but I will agree that Wind Waker's graphics are pretty drastically different. Like they're like everything's way brighter, and that could be pretty off-putting right there. They like up the bloom a bunch. It's just as the postman told us, the pirate ship has stopped here to avoid drawing the attention of the townsfolk. I know not what they are researching, but if they are hoping to get their hands on Jabun's sacred gem, I doubt they would tell you anything directly were you to ask. Chat, I think you should try to find out what the pirates are up to. All right, let's go. No, but you know, I almost bought some of the manga the other day. I actually almost picked up I think it was the Oracle of Ages and Seasons manga. Is that what it was? I ended up not buying it because, I don't know, I kind of don't like the idea of non-canon lore. I am kind of a canon freak. Anybody else? I don't know, man. Like, I simultaneously enjoy multiple stories in my favorite universes, but also hate when those stories don't impact the main stories. I'll be real, like I prefer all of my content to be canon. If you wish to be a true swordsman, find some Nightcrest and return to me. The more pure, cel-shaded aesthetic of the original, yeah, that's a base take, it really is. I do prefer the HD version of Twilight because the higher detail of the game, as opposed to something like the 64 era, gives it a messy look for me without the HD. Yeah, if I had to give a take blindly without going back and looking at the games, I would say Wind Waker HD doesn't look as good as Twilight Princess HD. In the sense of like the games being brought to the HD era, I think Wind Waker didn't necessarily need it as much as Twilight Princess did. I do think Twilight Princess probably needed it a little bit more because that game was attempting to do more realistic stuff and it was going for a little bit more realism, you know? So like that makes sense to me that that game would have a better time in HD land. We never learned the song to change the day from the dude here. We forgot to do that. Our first visit here, we forgot to do the song. All right, I know what I have to do, but I was curious if there was something else that I could do. But all right, let's just go. Oh, wait, I want to go to the ship, and I want to go play the minigame. Oh, I need to learn the password, right? How do you treat a shark? I don't remember what the password is, dude. Is it different every time? What the heck? I don't remember the password. I don't remember this. What the heck? I've played so much of this game. I don't remember this at all. You know, I think I got ahead of myself. Yeah, I got ahead of myself. We don't go in there yet. We have to go, we have to do our secret agent man routine first. That's the problem with playing a game that you already played before, is muscle memory tries to kick in and it's confusing. Secret agent man. Secret agent man. Secret a. Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot about the cliff. Look at that. Oh man, this game's so good. I forgot about the. All right, so yeah, my bad. I didn't realize I was wrong about the cave. I spoke so strongly about it too. I didn't realize it was two different caves. I'm really happy to be corrected by that because that ruined my opinion of of Twilight Princess HD. Now I'm like, whatever, man. Sounds great. Look, don't be mad at us. It's not our fault we absolutely gotta have bombs to get the treasure we're after. How about you just think of it as payback for the nasty little monopoly you've got running here, yeah? Got him. So I bet you're thinking it was foolhardy to ask pirates to pay such outrageous prices, huh? Yep, I bet you are. You know, Gonzo, I still can't get over that bit of fast talking you pulled to get that information out of the postman. Oh yeah, that was smooth. I tell you, the minute I set my eyes on that chat, I just knew he was hiding something back at outset, yeah. So when I saw that postman, I just pretended like I was all worried about the kid and stuff. And presto, he spills the beans. Good work, Gonzo. Really, just top notch. It's funny though. I'm thinking this is maybe the first time you've shown such wit, such cunning. You know, with your cunning and Miss Tetra smarts, if you two got married and had a kid, that kid would be the greatest pirate that ever sailed the seas. Yep, the greatest. Oh, you idiot! Keep your mouth shut! Oh. Miss Tetra, are you listening to this nitwit? Can't you dock him pay or something? Quit goofing off. Keep your childish jokes to yourself and get those bombs back to the ship. The second you're done loading them up, we're setting sail for Outset Island. What, miss? What, do we have to leave immediately? But it's been so long since we were on shore. We need to fill our bellies with some good eating, yeah? How about we grub tonight and shove off tomorrow morning instead? I mean, I'm fine either way, of course. Whatever you say is fine, miss, is what I mean to say. It's just that the boys were so excited to come to town, yeah? And I can't help but to think that it would be awful hard on them to leave so soon without a proper layover. So what do you say we sail tomorrow, yeah? What do you say, miss? That treasure ain't going anywhere. You're with me, right, boys? Who's for a night of fun? Silence. You're all fools, do you know that? You saw that demolished island. You saw that senseless destruction. But you have to hurry to Outset, or the same thing could happen there. Huh? Not to be disrespectful, but by the sound of things, you're worried more about the island than the treasure, miss. Don't be ridiculous. I want, the treasure. All right, fine. Have it your way. We can leave town tomorrow, you big babies. But we're setting sail at first light, so no sleeping in, understood? Aye, aye. Say there, brother. What's today's password again? Mako, are you serious? You forgot already? You're so useless.
SIP.
Today's password is Chummily. You know that Nico won't let you in if you don't say it exactly right. He's real picky. Today's password is Chummily. Chumley, eh? Yo, thank you, Mary Meredith. I appreciate the 17-month primer. How are you today? If you had to choose any Disney video game to play for the whole weekend, what would it be? Mickey Mouse's Rebrushed or whatever. Because apparently it's a good platformer and I've never played it. You guys know what I'm talking about? It was like a Wii game and they brought it to the Switch. Apparently it looks like a solid platformer. Epic Mickey Rebrushed. Yeah, it looks like a solid platformer and I'm in the mood for platforming right now. Yeah, the Switch version has a demo. Oh, nice. My mind always goes back to the original Aladdin. I thought about that, but then I read the message again and they said for the whole weekend. And that's when I decided that Aladdin and Lion King was not the play. I was like, wait a second. I'm not playing Aladdin for the whole weekend. That game's going to piss me off in 3 minutes. Like, that game's going to piss me off in 3 minutes. I'm not locking in, dude. What's up, dude? Yo, this is real unfortunate. I would help, but I'm kind of busy, dude. Oh, thanks for the cash. Toy Story 2 is a great one. Ooh, I love the old Toy Story games. Dude, that baby knows. Hercules is my favorite Disney movie, but I don't think there was ever any good Hercules games, was there? I think I played 1 or 2 Hercules games back in my day. All right, let's go get chum with the chum boys. Yeah, sure, I think Kingdom Hearts counts. Yeah, why not? I think so. What do y'all think? You may enter. Hercules Adventure, but not Disney. Yeah, I think I remember playing some form of Hercules Disney game in the past. All right, here we go. Round 2. We one-tapped it last time. Let's see if we can one-tap it again.
All the other pirates said you got done in by the bird monster in the Forsaken Fortress, so I thought, never mind what I thought, you're alive. Oh, I get it now. You came back because you missed me so much. I had no idea you wanted to be my swabby so badly. I see. Well, after you left, I went back to being the bottom rung on the ladder, which is why I'm stuck here while everyone else is in town having fun and eating and stuff. But I guess being so worshipped by my swabby ought to cheer me up. All right, why don't we set you up on your next test, huh? This one's harder than the last. Good luck, swabby, you'll need it.
Shut up. How you doing today, Random Zero, by the way? Kerbu, I hope you're doing well if you're lurking out there, Kerbu. Good morning, Random Zero. Good morning, Majinx. Focus on me play. Mr. Retro Maniac. Disney Infinity 3? I never even heard of that. DuckTales? Oh, whoa. DuckTales, oh, whoa. All right, let's go. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. I don't think I can get back up. Oh, they won't let me use my glider. Dang. Well, we didn't first try. Did you see the Cloud Island additions from me? Oh, no, I don't think I have. I haven't logged back in since yesterday. You're doing good today? I was just a little too high up the rope to be doing the fast. But you can go pretty fast through this. But we have to readjust on this rope. And then we have to be careful because these ropes move pretty drastically. So we want to wait here. Okay, we got it. All right. Slide down the rope, turn, and we should be in the clear here. I'm not perfectly lined up, but we should be in the clear. I could have jumped again right away, but I was worried. I was scared. All right, we should have just a couple more seconds left.
What? You've already gotta be... You did it already. You're incredible. This isn't good. I've never even passed this test. How can he do it so quickly and make it look so easy? And if I give this to him, everyone will know for sure. Oh, I'll be so busted. Okay. You're the best swabby of all time, so I guess I'll just give you the bombs. Go on, take it. Just don't tell anyone, okay? I'm serious, really serious, okay? Okay?
He turns his back so he doesn't have to look at the crime that he's committing. I've heard of Little Rocket Lab. I don't see why DDV wouldn't count. That's mighty courageous of you trying to steal treasure from pirates. I suppose I should be shocked, but I'm more amazed that you managed to survive after being tossed out of that tower. From the look on your face, I have to guess you haven't saved your sister yet, huh? You don't give things much thought, do you? You just rush in, never thinking how badly things could go for you. Just now, the only reason you got what you did was because we left a simple-minded little rat like Nico behind to look after things. No one else would have parted with our treasure so easily, I assure you. And just how do you intend to use these bombs anyways? Don't tell me you're going after Jabun's treasure too. Right now, Jabun's hiding in a cave at the back of the island you were born on, but the entrance is blocked by a giant stone doorway. You can't get in without breaking down the door. We're going to relax in town and eat our fill of whatever this town has to offer, but we'll be leaving for outset first thing in the morning. If you manage to find Jabun tonight, then I guess you win. But if you take too long, we'll come sailing right by you tomorrow morning. And believe me, you didn't get all of our bombs. You better be quick, kid. All right, wait, let's say bye to Nico.
Wow, awesome! You have a stone just like the one that Miss Tetra has! Oh, how do you use that thing? Can you talk to Miss Tetra through it? Man, you're so lucky.
Oh, I guess he can't hear the conversation that we just had. Oh, I thought she was just talking smack right in front of him. I thought she was just talking smack right in front of him. I don't think he can hear it. I may or may not be playing hooky from work. What up, LPK? We love a little hooky around here. Okay. So what we could do is we could go to a great ferry on the way. I think there's 1 or 2 great ferries we can already do because of bombs. But let's just go to outset. We got a long sail ahead of us. Good evening. Let us for chat number 1. Notice from Beetle's shop ship. It's time for our semi-annual Big Chance extravaganza. We have a new product that has burst onto the scene. Bombs! We're having an extra special sale on this choice item for a limited time only. You'll know where to find us by checking an enclosed Beetle Shop ship chart. Visit a Beetle Shop ship near you today. Offer not available in all regions. Don't miss this huge opportunity, Beetle. Sick. Offer not available in all regions. Like, shut up. How many regions do you got, idiot? I mean, it's a pretty big map, I suppose. Yo, thank you, Cosmic, for the streak. Well done. Our preparations are complete. If what the girl says is true, the pirates won't be leaving until the morning. Let us delay no longer, chat. Oh, we're no longer delaying, baby. I'll tell you what we're going to do first is we're actually going to go to Dragon Roost. We're actually going to go to Dragon Roost first because we can use these bombs to go do a little mini dungeon as well as... Oh, what the heck? I think that's it. I think that's all I want from there is the mini dungeon. Oh, I wonder if we can play the letter sorting game while we're here. Oh, also on the way to Dragon Roost, we can actually stop at the this Choo-Choo Island real quick. Yeah, Numbo Tavi, have you ever played the GameCube version with the Tingle Tuner? All right, let's go over here. No, I have not, but Tingle's Rosy Rupee Land for Game Boy Advanced, I think, right? Is something that we were going to play here soon. It was the next game that I wanted to play in the Zelda space, but I got distracted with Wind Waker. I wasn't able to do the Tingle Tuner stuff. Yeah. It feels like such foreign technology nowadays. You know what I mean by that? Like, because like it requires a Game Boy Advance link cable. Like, it's like a whole thing. I'm not talking about the sound you make when you kiss somebody. I'm talking about choo-choos. What? Choo-choo? That's not the sound you make with choo-choo. Choo-choo, choo-choo. I don't know if that's how that works. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, Americans didn't really get access to those games because Nintendo put a poll out back in the day, right? Nintendo had put a poll out way back in the day, and in this poll they were like, "What do you think about Tingle?" And apparently the American audience just shit all over him. They were like, "He sucks." They were like, "What if we made a video game about Tingle? How would you react to that?" And the American audience was like, "What worst idea ever? Don't even bother making it." Like, what? Why would you say that? What? Why would you say, no, don't make a video game? So apparently they didn't think that Americans even wanted it. So they made the first Tingle Rosie Rupee Land game. The first game, I think, made it to the European audience, but it never even made it to America. And the second one never even left Japan, I don't think. And if it did, it still never came to America. But I look back in time and I'm like, man, people try to act like gamers nowadays are like way different than they used to be. And like, oh, nowadays gamers don't like anything. Like, no, dude, gamers were always a bunch of punks, dude. Gamers were always a bunch of entitled punks. Always. It doesn't matter if it was through magazines and writing into your favorite magazine, if it was game FAQs forums, or if it was Nintendo polls. Gamers have always been a bunch of punks. So like, it's like, don't get it twisted. The world's not any different. Gamers are still a bunch of punks. They've always been a bunch of punks. And they've limited us from getting all sorts of cool games because they're a bunch of punks. Like recently I watched this video about how MMORPGs are a dead art because the MMO fan base won't play any MMOs that don't have a massive audience. So like if your MMO doesn't have like a massive audience, if it doesn't have like hundreds of thousands of people playing it, people don't want to play your MMO. So the MMORPG space is dead because like it's dead in the sense that like dead's a strong word, but it's a toxic space because the players are all complaining that there isn't any new good MMOs, but players aren't willing to go and play the new good MMOs. So it's like they simultaneously are asking for games, but they won't play the games unless they're the most popular thing on planet Earth, because everything is like numbers now. So like if it's not a game that has hundreds of thousands of players, it's considered dead on arrival and people don't want to really interact with it. And there's like this mindset that's been this way for 20 years where if an MMORPG doesn't have like World of Warcraft numbers, it's dead. Which is so wrong. Like you can go play City of Heroes right now. There's a couple thousand people at any given time playing City of Heroes on a fan server. You can go, there's so many MMOs. There like Lineage 2 still exists. And you can, I'm pretty sure, and you can go play like some of these classic MMOs with a couple thousand people, a couple hundred people. But that's considered dead and it gets talked down on. So the MMO space just like is like eating its own tail. Like it just eats itself. Because like the players aren't willing to play games that don't have like mass levels of popularity. Yeah, you can still play City of Heroes right now. I play it. I play City of Heroes, yeah. Look it up. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. I apologize. But it's essentially City of Heroes. It's called like something Hope, I think. And here's the thing, it's not just a fan server, by the way. Actually, it's a fan server that got officially sanctioned by the original owners. So now it's a fan server that got access to like the original files and stuff of the game. And it's officially sanctioned. So basically it's an official, unofficial server. you know, and like a funny way to word it, right? I'm obviously joking, but it's like an official, yeah, it's called Homecoming. Yeah, that's what, there it is. I thought it was something with hope, but home. Yeah, it's really good. It's really good, dude. Not only are MMOs slowly declining, I think FPS is also the same fate. If it's not popular, it dies out quick. Yeah, and that's a terrible fate for a video game, that just because it's not too popular, it's like not worth your time. It's like, dude, people are still playing Lord of the Rings online right now, a couple thousand people. You can go play it right now. It's great, dude. It's awesome. You know, it's like, so you don't, and not every MMO needs to be like World of Warcraft's success, you know, like. You play Lord of the Rings online often. Specifically on Steam, I see people hyper-fixating on tracking how well a game is doing. Yeah, right. That's where it's like real bad. But because Steam is pretty open with like their Steam DB charts or whatever. Nice. I bring up the MMO thing because it hits close at home for me, because I love MMOs. And it is kind of tragic how a lot of MMOs get wrote off, when like there's a lot of real fun MMOs to still play. I go back and I play the Old Republic every couple of years and just see what they've been up to and try to do a little PvP and just fart around. I love my smuggler boy. I wonder how popular Lineage 2 is. I'm pretty sure there's a couple Lineage 2 private servers. I'd say the most deep cut MMO that I still play to this day that nobody really talks about is called RF Online. And it was an old Filipino MMO that Codemasters ran. And it's pretty cool. I play every couple of years. I go back and play it, but it's hard to find like real clean servers to play on that aren't like destroying your computer or like hacking you. It's tough. The community scares me. The MMO community can be rough, yeah, for sure. RuneScape is not too bad. The RuneScape community is pretty awesome. But you're always going to find bad eggs out there, you know? Unfortunately, the bad eggs exist always. All right, where's my ship at? Playing RuneScape right now? Nice. Good taste. It's not a virus, it's a feature. Like, I swear the last time I played RF Online, I got Russian spyware malware in my computer. Because I was playing with a bunch of this big Russian community. I swear the game was like not normal. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just like, I'm partially like joking, but I swear the last time I played RF Online, I was downloading like some super shaky like client, and like I had to go to like some sketchy websites to install it. And I'm like, yep, my computer's just full of spyware now. Yep. Oh, there's a really good fan translation for the Japanese only Tingle game. Shout out to the fans, man. Chat room, what's one game that you recommend that you can only play via a fan translation? You know, like a real popular example of this question. A real popular example of this question is, what's that game that Earthbound Mother 3, yeah, there it is. Mother 3 is like a super big, super popular example of exactly what we're talking about. The Great Ace Attorney. I have to be close. I was a little off. Here we go. Capcom translated both of those games. Metroid Other M. Sailor Moon, Another Story for SNES. Wait, was Other... Ooh, 200. Woohoo! All right, well, we capped out our rupees. That's not necessarily good. Let's go find the Beatles shop ship, and let's just spend some money before we go play the mail game. Yeah, I didn't realize. Oh, I see. So it was a bad localization and the fans fixed it. That's cool. I like that. All right, come on, Beetle. Hurry up, dude. I think he's on the other side of the building right now. Yeah, I've played Four Swords Adventure. So as a kid, I read your message. I did the full experience once or twice. 4 consoles, 4 players, right? Like 4 Game Boy Advances. Sorry, not 4 consoles. 4 Game Boy Advances, 4 Game Boy Link cables. I did it once or twice as a kid. It was very wonderful experiences. Otherwise, I also played the Four Swords version that was just on Game Boy Advanced, right? Wasn't there like a miniature version of it, basically? And we've also played that one on stream because they released it on the NSO. What the heck? I never heard him say what? What can... Dude, why do I not remember that interaction? He was talking about the pirate girl.
Thank you. Bye.
Oh yeah, because so I was just about to get there. So we played the Game Boy Advance version, and then we actually, for my Zelda marathon, we played Four Swords on stream. So 2 years ago, I did a Zelda marathon where it was a week-long marathon of nothing but Zelda games. And we celebrated the franchise, and it was super cool. And we played Four Swords Adventures during that week. I'm fairly certain that's when we played it. It might have actually been my anniversary celebration that year. But yeah, we did some Four Swords. It was just 2 of us, but it was fun. We never finished it. We got pretty far, but we never finished it. Bye. All right, let's go. It's battle time. I should probably... Okay, I have my boomerang equipped. Okay, we're good. Little mini battle dungeon. Boo, 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 boo. What up, Kyle? You got a cat on a keyboard? I'm gonna walk out of here completely full on rupees again, unfortunately. All right, who wants some? Ooh, these boys. What up, Renegade? Yeah, you're good, Kyle. No worries, buddy. We don't mind at all, man. We don't mind at all. You're good, dude. Good to see you back. Oh wait, Tetra's Tracker got a fan remake? Wait, really? Tetra's Trackers got a fan translation? I've always wanted to play Tetra's Trackers. Dang, I gotta check that out. I don't think I knew that. Hey. Do something. Get up. Is it a game where Tetra's the main character? I don't remember exactly what it is, but yes, it's like a... Yes, you're thinking correctly. It's like a puzzle game or something. It's not like a regular game. But yeah, Tetra is like the main character. And it's like a weird like puzzle game. It's hard to explain actually. I vaguely remember it. I only even know the game exists because of Did You Know Gaming. Anybody else here a Did You Know Gaming fan? I watch a lot of a lot of Did You Know Gaming. I always be learning about the games. Ow. Four-player board game where four links are racing around collecting stamps. Yeah, it's like a weird. I guess it sounds like it's like a weird Mario Party spin-off. $50 boopies. That's what we did the whole dungeon for. Just 50 boops. Oh, this isn't one of the dungeons that have the bosses in the middle. Dang. I was hoping to fight a Dark Nut. I watch a lot of D. Well, I was trying to say DYKG. DYKG. Did You Know Gaming? But I realized that my brain wasn't going to be able to figure out the acronym fast enough, so I pivoted. I was like, oh, this guy's not at work yet. All right, we'll come back later. All right, I bought some more bait. Let's go. We're going directly south. Actually, we should maybe go a little bit south west. And that'll help us later. A little bit southwest here. All right, let me grab some bait. Do 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 do. All right, and then we could try to map some islands on the way there. We have a pretty long sail back to Outset. This is like one of the longest sails in the game. This is one of those situations where they're expecting you to branch off and start doing whatever you want, but players instead opted to complain that the sailing sucked. You know, typical gamers. The sailing blows, dude. It takes forever. It's like, yeah, well, you weren't meant to just mindlessly sail from point A to point B. You're supposed to, like, explore the map a little bit and, like, have fun. You ever heard of that? Having fun? What a crazy idea. What a novel concept. Yeah. Supposed to have fun, dude. Wow. Holy small fry. Technically, sails need blow. True. I didn't think about my wording, but that's perfect. Meanwhile, I'm over here doing a no fast travel tiers run. It takes an hour to cross the map. Dude, I did that in my first Breath of the Wild playthrough. Yes, dude, my first Breath of the Wild playthrough, I did no fast travel for the first, like, 100 hours of the game. I did eventually give in. I'm not gonna lie. I did eventually say like, okay, I'm over this. And I gave in, but my first 100 hours of Breath of the Wild were no fast travel. With Tears of the Kingdom, it was the same. We played Tears of the Kingdom pretty much fast travel-less for like the majority of the first couple, I'd say probably first 50 to 100 hours. But it wasn't like I didn't do like a full playthrough. I love the idea of a fast travel-less playthrough. I love it. It's so awesome. Now play Crimson Desert without fast travel. Oh yeah, what would that be like? Is that game even bigger? What would that be like? That would be cool. I don't know, don't tempt me, because maybe that's how I'll play my first playthrough of that game. I'm like, don't even tempt me, dude, because I'll do it. I'll do it. My first playthrough of that game, fast travel list. I'm calling it right now. I'm doing it. I've been challenged. I'm doing it. It copied Tears with the Sky Islands, and the map is bigger than Tears. Right, right. It has the Sky Islands. It also has like a big cave network, right? Didn't it copy both? Doesn't it have like a massive like a underworld as well, right? Or just like caves? Yeah, they did. That map is huge. From what I've read a little bit, it is massive. Like they have Sky Islands that are like more impactful, but it's like a different dimension, so it's all like figured out in the story. And then they have like some underground stuff. I think so. I think they have some like cave networks or something. Young Waker of the Winds, allow me to aid you in your quest. Honestly, it just makes me want to play Tears again. Yeah, that's what happens when you get like a little bit samey on the market, you know? I recently... Bomb upgrade? Bomb upgrade? Bomb upgrade! That's what I wanted before we got to Outset Island. Yes. Yes, the bomb upgrade's nice. Also, we need to grab a ferry for Grandma. We have to grab a ferry for Grams because she's going to be sick, I think. This might be something we have to do later, but... Young Breaker of Winds, and then it just pans to Link, ripping ass. Alright, 2 fairies. Here you guys go, I got you. The Legend of Zelda, the Windbreaker. I present to you all. The Legend of Zelda, the Windbreaker. Highest brow of comedy. Yeah, I had that ready to go for you all. That was ready. I was waiting for the perfect opportunity, and the chat handed it to me on a silver platter. Why was I expecting a picture of Link in a Windbreaker jacket? Yeah, just a starter jacket. Just Link in a starter jacket. Sir, that was beautiful. You're welcome. I'll be here all week. The fairy in the bottle crying. Oh, the fairy's not crying in the bottle. It's just her staff. No, chat. No. Hold on. We gotta correct the myth here real quick. Hold on a second. We got to go correct a myth real quick. No. You see, I'm going to show y'all. Now listen, the fairy is still kind of sad to be getting put into a bottle. So to be fair, it's still pretty sad, but I want to show you guys something real quick. My whole life, I thought the fairy was crying. The fairy's not crying. Look, the fairy has a staff in their hand. They're not shedding tears. They're just kind of sad about being locked into a bottle, but they're not crying about it. All right, just being clear, like that's their staff. They're not shedding tears. Today I learned. Yeah, dude, my whole life I thought that it looked like tears. That ain't exactly a smile. Listen, sometimes you frown even when you're happy. That happens. Sometimes a frown slips out. Yo, Testonomics with a 9-monther. Let's go, dude. Thank you, man. Thank you, dude.
Happy fairy.
Wait, hold on. I want to get this. Did we get this map? Hold on a second. We did not get this map. Here we go. Got to do some snaking like we're playing Mario Kart. This is how real sailors do it. I'm not gonna lie, when I got this game as a kid, I totally went to my library and I looked up actual sailing techniques. And the best part is they worked in the game. The best part is that real sailing techniques worked in this game. And I was a kid, I discovered it on my own. I was like, I learned that if the wind, I learned that the wind being directly behind you is technically not like the best, and you want it to be coming at you at an angle. And this game doesn't do that 100% accurately. I think it is, I can't remember the details on GameCube, but I believe the angle was faster, maybe. I can't remember, but that's not the point. The point is that the one thing I learned is that there's like this snaking maneuver that sailors will do when the wind isn't right. And when they don't have the best wind, and they'll turn their boat to catch the wind, and then they'll turn it in the direction they're going, and they'll keep like kind of like snaking it to catch the wind, and that technique works in this game. 100% works. Like I looked it up when I'm like 12 years old or something ridiculous, and I'm at the library looking up sailing techniques. And then I found out years later in an interview with Ayanuma that they did that on purpose, that they were like very interested in the sailing mechanics being like as legit as possible as far as like a video game is concerned. And it shows. It's their care for the details shows. And you know, that's just Nintendo products in general, not to glaze unnecessarily, but I think most of us can agree that one of the things about the Nintendo seal of approval was always that you could kind of guarantee that the product you're getting is gonna be detail oriented, and like, you know, it's gonna be an all around solid product. The details matter, man. They really do. Also, the ability to point where you're aiming in HD edition changed everything. I don't know if y'all remember, but I don't remember there being the ability to point and aim in the GameCube version. You had to basically play Worms 3D, right? I swear. You basically played Worms 3D, and you had to like learn the angles of your shots. I swear that's how the original was. Staff not here, picking Discord gaming discussion. Since we all know Nintendo watches Hylian stream, this is now time for chat to spam sponsor Hylian in chat so Nintendo will sponsor him. Thank you. I don't even want a full sponsor from Nintendo, even though that let me rephrase that. as much as I would love an opportunity to be like fully sponsored by the company that I grew up playing games on. All I really want from them is to like offer me some cool stuff to give away to all of you. And that's all I've ever asked from them. Like I've emailed them 3 times now for different game releases over the past couple years. And all I've ever really asked them is like, yo, I would love to be able to do some promotions and stuff for your company. Like I have an awesome audience who would love some cool like merchandise, or like if you send me a copy of the game, then I'll buy my own copy and I'll give it away. Like I've offered that. I'm like, if you send me a copy of the game, I'll give it away and then I'll just buy my own copy. I'm not even looking for you to give me free stuff in that sense. I'm not reaching out to get freebies for myself. I would just like to do something awesome for my community. And they've never replied. I don't know if I'm just speaking down the wrong channels, or I've heard that Nintendo of America is pretty bad about that because it's just so big. Whereas like apparently Nintendo of like Canada and like Nintendo of Australia are like super open and chatting with people all the time. But Nintendo of America is just like completely locked down apparently. It's from what I've read, but I'll keep trying, chat. I'll keep trying. I'll keep trying. I promise you that. Yeah, it would be super cool if they would just hook us up with some acknowledgement or something, you know? Like I said, I'm not asking for much. I'm not even looking for them to pay me to play their games. Like, I'm good. Like, just hook us up with some merch or something, you know? You got your first legendary on a Dream Island? Yo, Patry Payton, congratulations, dude. Yeah, I've seen... Dude, I saw a streamer from Australia when I was back in 2000 and... Whenever Kirby and the Forgotten Land released, I think that's 22. A streamer that... I saw a streamer in Australia get like a whole package of Kirby stuff sent to them. Like a whole package of Kirby stuff was sent to them for the release of Kirby and Forgotten Lands. It was a whole box full of a bunch of super sick loot. And I remember being so jealous. I was so jealous, dude. And like at the time, I was under the impression that like size mattered when it came to that kind of stuff, which is wrong. But at the time I was like, you know, I thought that you had to be a bigger streamer to get like for Nintendo to reach out to you. So I like was even more confused because the person who got the sponsorship or whatever you want to call that, they were like a lot smaller than me at the time. There was somebody who an awesome creator, by the way, because you know we hope we all understand that numbers don't matter. But like, they're an awesome creator, but like, I remember I was so confused because it was like 2022. I'm rocking like a couple hundred viewers, and I'm like reaching out. I'm trying to get sponsorships, and this person, they were like a 10 viewer Andy. And again, not talking down on them, like just telling a story. And I was like. And they got this whole Kirby package sent to them and everything to play Kirby and Forgotten Lands. And I'm sitting there like, dude, what? Dude, like, huh? And I reached out to Nintendo about Kirby. I reached out because I was doing a midnight release and everything, and I wanted to celebrate it. And like, yeah, I remember I was so like jealous. I was so just ugly jealous. Like, come on, like, what's going on here? You know, in hindsight, it's a different country, first off, so they handle stuff differently. Secondly, like, numbers have nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? Like, our one of the members of our community, Dazabound, has gotten a legitimate sponsorship directly from Nintendo to play Splatoon. You know how proud I was of that, dude? Now, when I say directly, there's always a middleman. That's how this world works. So when I say directly, like, take it with a grain of salt, but like directly, he got reached out to basically from Nintendo, a representative working for Nintendo, and he got himself a sponsorship to play Splatoon. So like, yeah, like numbers and all that stuff doesn't matter at all. It's just like, it's basically like putting yourself out there enough to like, for the opportunity to happen, right? That's what it's about. That's what I learned, because the Kirby thing happened and I realized I wasn't putting myself out there enough. So since then, I think I've tried 2 or 3 times with a Scarlet and Violet's release and something else. Got him. Got your butt. Got your butt. You know, jealousy rears its ugly head sometimes. That's just a human emotion. I don't fight it. I just try to acknowledge it, and I try not to let it make decisions for me. You know what I mean? Jealousy is a very normal feeling. Oh, he got me. I missed. Like, I've talked about that in, like, relationship stuff before. Like, jealousy is not necessarily an unhealthy emotion in, like, a relationship, in my opinion, from, like, the reading and stuff I've done. Dude, why does it choose to do that one? Am I pressing it too slow? I'm pressing it too slow. From a lot of the reading I've done, and, like, jealousy is not necessarily like a bad emotion. Like, why? Why am I not able to parry with this freaking controller? This has been happening to me for the whole playthrough. It's a timing thing. I think there's a big delay between this controller and the system. I think there might be a delay between the controller and the system that I'm not realizing. This freaking gamepad trash, dude. But you know, it's all about how you act. It's all about how you act on the, like, if you act on the jealousy, then that's the problem. You can't be acting on your own, like, headcanon of what's happening, you know what I mean? You can't be, like, getting so jealous that you're, like, freaking out, you know? You have to maintain composure. But I don't think jealousy is inherently a bad thing. I think it's pretty natural for all humans to get a little jealous. Oh, I forgot he always gets up and punches. Oh, I messed up. I guess you can't parry if you're blocking. I didn't even think about it. Okay, I just didn't want to die. I just didn't want to die. So I had to, like, actually just chew him up real quick. I have another fairy, but I'm saving it for Grandma. Yeah, what up, Mills? Good to see you, dude. It's not the jealousy. It's your reactions and actions due to it. Correct. Yeah. I'm glad to hear you guys understand that, because I've never really shared those thoughts before, except to my, like, intimate, like, relationships. But I've always felt that, like, jealousy is not inherently a bad emotion. It's when you act on it and you engage with jealousy in a negative way. But there's nothing wrong with getting a little bit under your skin about, like, an interaction, like, that leads to, like, a jealous feeling. I've always opted for emotional understanding and intelligence versus the dismissal of certain emotions. I'll never agree with, like, the dismissal of emotions versus, like, understanding where they're coming from and learning from them. Dude, I can't kill this thing. I'm leaving. I hate you. Yeah, I'm enjoying some Windbreaker today. It's been fun. Playing with this cumbersome gamepad is, like, the end of me, but it's whatever, dude. The game is good enough that I can deal with this stupid controller. All right, nice. I'm just get jealous about what people do. So I went from pharmacy technician and medical laboratory science. It leveled me up. Dude, nice. You know what I mean? Like, I think it would be foolish to fight a feeling of like jealousy. Like, you don't fight it, you just talk about it, you embrace it. Like, hey dude, I didn't really enjoy that interaction. Like, that interaction with that person made me like super jealous, and here's why. And then the other person could be like, ah, I see, you know, that actually makes a lot of sense, but just a reminder, you don't really have any reason to be jealous because, you know, I care about you in all these different ways, and that interaction with that person was fleeting, and that person doesn't really matter at the end of the day. And just a simple conversation like that will help you turn jealousy into a real positive conversation versus it being a festering feeling that's you leave under your skin. You know, because you feel like society tells us that we can't talk about jealousy because like it's a negative trait. So it's like, oh, you're jealous? Like, oh, you better not talk about that. You better not let people know you feel that way. And that's such the opposite of how to handle jealousy. You just talk about it. Like, hey man, that interaction made me super jealous, and I know that my brain's being stupid right now, but I hated it. And here's why, you know, and you just chat about it. You're like, oh, okay, it's not too bad. I'm an MLS2. Yeah, it can act as a signal. It often reveals what you deeply value. Exactly. You value your connection with that person, or like a certain way that they're interacting with somebody. Like, the simplest example is like seeing somebody flirt with like your lady and then getting jealous, or flirting with your partner. That's like the simple example. And the reason that's like the easy one to talk about, because like, duh, like, of course you're going to get jealous about an interaction of something that you love doing with that individual. You love flirting with that person. You love interacting with them and making them smile. So when somebody else does it, it's like, oh, frick. Like, that can feel like a little bit, that can feel a little bit weird. I can feel a little bit bad. It's like, wait a second. I thought I made you smile that way. Well, after you have a conversation with your partner, if it's a sensible conversation, it'll end in like a positive note. It'll be like, you know, once you talk about it and you talk through it, it's like, oh, okay, well, you know, obviously it's not a big deal. Yeah, what's up, Silver Blink? How you doing, dude? What was one game that you couldn't go back to because you thought it was that bad? I don't know. I don't really have many of those experiences in life. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I'm just not a negative opinion-oriented guy. And I only criticize things that I love, so I don't criticize things I don't love. So if I played a game that I didn't like, I probably forgot about it and I didn't even bother criticizing it. Because I criticize things that I want to see grow. I don't criticize things just because I hate it. So generally, when I interact with something I don't like, I don't interact with it and then like remember interacting with it. Like it's just gone from my mind. You know what I mean? Like why would I criticize something I don't care about? That's like criticizing Pokemon when you're not a Pokemon fan. Sound like anybody? You know, it's like criticizing Pokemon for not making good games when you don't play Pokemon games anymore. It's like, what are you doing? Go get a life. Now, I'm sure there is a game to answer this question, though. A game that I didn't like so much that I wasn't able to go back and play it again. I bet you there's something on stream I'm not thinking about. I bet you there's a stream game that I've played. Yo, thanks for the first time sub, man. What up, Wowie? Dude, mega cool. Some love in the chat. Hero Swords. Yeah, I'm sure there's something that we played during a variety-a-thon. Wait. Where's the island at? I bet you there's something I played during a variety-a-thon. All right, let's just go. I bet you there's something I played during a variety-a-thon that I was just like not interested in going back to. Yo, Bearded Beer fan with the 2 months. It's been wonderful having you around, dude. Hope you're enjoying your Pokemon Pokopia journey. What y'all been gaming on this weekend? What y'all been gaming on this weekend? Oh, frick, there's the Cyclone. Oh, frick. Dude, I remember as a kid getting sucked into that Cyclone when I was this close to Outset Island and getting thrown all the way across the map and having to do it all again. I remember that sucking, dude. That is not a fun situation to be in. I'm out of here. Pokopia, Skyrim. Ooh, Oblivion Remaster. Ooh, we're cooking. Animal Crossing E Plus should be in your P.O. box. Been lurking and doing chores and enjoying the Wind Waker nostalgia. Thanks. We're going to do this full game. It won't be every day back to back, but we will be playing this game over the next couple, like the next week or so. Which we'll squeeze it in into the odd hours when I'm not busy doing something else. I hope y'all are feeling good over there, YouTube gang, by the way. YouTube squad, I hope y'all are feeling good. Pokemon X post game. Ooh, nice. I haven't done that yet. All right, we need to go to the shop first and buy some more bombs. And I really hope that the shop here sells bombs. I think it will. Haven't been gaming. Dropped off my daughter for a Switch party at her friend's house. Oh, that's so cool. The LAN party days. That's so cool, dude. I love that. A Switch party. Aw, that's so fun, man. Good old LAN party, dude. Good old LAN party, dudes. I had beans last night and woke the winds this morning. What's up, Didius? Have you noticed, chat? Morning is not broken since we've arrived at Great Fish Isle. The land that was so ravaged by monsters, as if time itself is frozen. Perhaps this is the curse that Valu spoke of. Whatever the reason, if this night does not end, then we need not worry about the pirates. In fact, it might not be a bad idea for you to visit your hometown and family again after such a long time away. We could speak to Jabun after you do. Okay, let me go to the ship first. Yeah, what? It's such a fun question. I'm really trying to think about it. A game that I didn't like so much that I was like, I'm never playing this again. That wasn't like a meme, you know, like somebody mentioned like a Shrek game. Like, sure, like, but like I'm trying to think of a legitimate game that I've loaded up with the intentions of enjoying and then quickly realized I wasn't a fan of the game. I'd almost have to see a list of games I've played and like mull over it a little bit longer. But yeah, I mean, that kind of answers your question though, right? I don't have anything that like really stands out in my mind. Oh, chat, Errol, don't go, don't leave. Oh, don't leave your poor old grandma all alone. Oh, all right, we got her. We can heal her up. Here we go. You guys ready? Here, Grams. Oh, Chat, is that you? Grandma's always happy to see your bright, shining face. Chat, my dear sweet Chat, you're safe. That's wonderful, just wonderful. Did you do this? Did you heal me? Oh, you're such a sweet child. She was in pain from grief. Oh, that's right. You and your sister Aro are trying so hard to be strong, and I've just been sitting here moaning and worrying. I'm your grandmother. I'm the one who should be taking care of you. So sorry, Chad. I haven't even considered what you must be going through. I'm a terrible grandma. Chad, this is all I have to give you right now. You can keep it in your empty bottle. We got Grandma's soup! You and your sister love this soup, don't you? If you run out, I can make more for you anytime. Grandma's going to try to be strong, so you can try to be strong too. Aw. Don't do anything reckless. Look at, he's so happy to be home with Grandma. Oh, he is so happy to be home with Grams, dude. We got some Grandma soup. Delicious. What up, freaking? Yeah, so... Yeah, I just don't take a ton of risk in gaming. That's really what this conversation comes down to. I just don't take a ton of risk in gaming. So, like, I guess I haven't had a ton of experiences where I bought a game and I was like, I hate this. Grandma's soup. You know, I take more risk as a streamer now. But even then, I'm still pretty picky about what I play. Because like even when a game doesn't quite vibe with me, as I said earlier, and I wasn't trying to virtue signal or anything, but I don't. Oh no, not. Oh no, the Dedens. Oh no. Oh no. Here they come. The freaks. Okay, we're good. Yikes. Yeah, as I was saying earlier, like even when I do like don't like a game, I don't tend to like think too hard about it. I'm just like, yeah, whatever. You know, like whatever. This game, you know, whatever. It's like if I don't like something, I don't usually blame the game for that. I really don't. You know, even when a game's bad, I'm usually just like, I don't know, it's not for me. It's kind of my mindset, you know? Because you know that game Pixel Shire is the first one I thought about. We played this game called Pixel Shire for like 4 hours, and the game was just a hot mess, right? The game was like just a night. Like it was just like not really that well put together. It was super junky feeling, but I still like had a good time for 4 hours.
H-Day Wave, H-Day Love, H-Day Love, hey yo, much love. Been working on the YouTube channel.
Yo, thank you, Venus.
And share my 20th subversary.
Thank you, Venus, for taking the time to jump over and give us some love. You didn't have to do all that. That was very kind of you. That was very kind of you. Thank you, man. Was late for work. Still got everything done in a timely manner. Perfect. Yeah, perfect. Yo, Spartan coming in with the 83. Let's go, baby.
Yes, resub time after all these months.
After all these months.
25 spy H-Day cool.
After all these months. The legend, Spartan Leonidas himself. Bum bum. Dang, I'm really stuck on this question because it's such a fun question. A game that I didn't like so much that I was like, I'm never coming back to this game. This game sucks. I bet you there's something on like the Nintendo Sega Genesis library, like some old junky one-off game that I like played for like a couple hours on stream. But again, none of those really answer the question. I think the question, and you can all answer as well, is what is a game that you bought or you purchased or you played with the intention of enjoying it, and you were let down by the game so much, in fact, that you were like, I don't ever want to play this ever again. So like, it can't just be a game that I played randomly one day, like, oh, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, because that's not the question. Like, the question really is asking like a game that disappointed me that I really intended to play, that like really like made me go, wow, I don't want to do this. I don't want to continue this. you know? We got to update our game list. Our game list is mad crusty right now. By crusty, I mean just outdated. Yeah, nothing on this list is that game for me. Everything on this list is something that I would totally go back and play more of. Besides for like Shrek 2, even though I still have to for the chat. But again, like I went into Shrek 2 knowing I was going to hate it. Like that just doesn't count. You know, I went into Shrek 2 knowing I was going to hate it. I just don't think that does the same thing, you know? Yeah, if I really have a solid answer for you, it's probably a super old game. I have an answer that I've been holding back on this whole time because I only played the demo. All right. But the game is Me-topia. Every time somebody asks me a question about games I hate, this is the game that comes up. And I avoided for the past 10 minutes bringing this up. I avoided for 10 minutes. I didn't want to say this, but all roads go back to Me-topia. I played this demo on stream and it was an RPG, but you don't even play the game. It's an auto battler. It does everything for you like Raid Shadow Legends. And it was the most off-putting game I had ever played, to the point where I genuinely was pissed off by the time I was done playing it. And it was like the first time ever on stream that I like talked down on a game. I was like, this game is complete trash. I hate it. And the chat got upset with me. It was the first time I swear, and I've never done it, where I like genuinely talked down on a game on stream. And I don't think I've ever really done it again because the chat was so upset with me because my audience wasn't used to those types of harsh opinions. You know what I mean? So I talked down on the game and the chat was like, well, if you didn't like it, you didn't have to play it. And like, everyone was like real mad at me. Everyone was like, how dare you? I love it. Like, how dare you? And I was just like, oh my God. I remember I was like, oh man, I'm so sorry, everybody. Like, I'm not trying to yuck your yum, but this game is terrible. I'll never forget that moment on stream. You can now carry more rupees. Nice, 1,000 rupees, baby. Yeah, I was so I just was not about that game at all, dude. I just literally talked smack about it. I was just like, this is stupid. I remember I was like, this might be the worst game ever made. I was like, this is a complete waste of time. Like it wasn't that I shared my opinion. I turned into a person on Twitter for like 5 minutes and I sat here and I literally just talked down on the game. And I didn't realize I fell into that kind of hole. And then I come out of it a couple minutes later and then the chat's looking at me like, dude, slow down. Like, it's not that bad. And I was like, it's terrible. I hate it. Like, I like genuinely got upset. Like, I can't express this enough. Like, it was like the most out of character thing for me ever. That's why my chat was so thrown off. Like, it was super out of character. I was like, it's complete trash. I hate it. Like, I didn't say I didn't like it. I said that the game was really bad. Like, I'm being a little hyperbolic. I think we all know, like, rarely do I talk too harsh, you know, but I'm being a little hyperbolic right now. But still, like, I was a little bit more harsh than I usually am. Let's just put it that way, right? But it was simultaneously a case of you know, like you said, like God forbid you have an opinion. There was a little bit of that energy, right? This was like a couple years ago, and like people weren't as vocal about people yucking yums. Does this make sense? So this was like a couple years ago, and like people weren't as vocal about the yuck yum situation yet. Everyone was just used to everyone pooting all over everything, and we were all just like, whatever. It wasn't until the past couple years that I would say a movement has happened, where nowadays people are a little bit more vocal about not having their yums yucked. Right? Like, because we used to just let people get criticized, and then like when we told people to slow down their criticisms, they would be like, what? We're not allowed to have an opinion? We're not allowed to have an opinion? Oh, look at this Nintendo fan. We're not allowed to have opinions. Well, then over time, we learned how to handle those people by saying, listen, you're allowed to have your opinion, but like you don't need to share it. So like you're yucking yums here. Like take your opinion somewhere else. And it wasn't until we started learning how to handle those types of people that I think people were more comfortable like with a little bit of yum yucking. Like there was like a shift in how the internet handled that kind of stuff. So like, to be fair, as a guy who never yucks yums, when I randomly decided to yuck the yum of Metopia, and I like sat here and talked smack about it for a couple minutes, it was a pretty jarring event. It was like it was pretty jarring, you know, like it was like, wait a second, this guy never does this, you know, like, and it was pretty jarring. So I think I just created such a strong space of like, what's the word for it? Like tolerance. Like we have such a tolerant space, and I'm not talking like different types of people. I'm talking like opinions. Like we have a pretty tolerant space. Like we're very tolerant of all different types of people, but you know, and opinions and stuff. But like my community naturally gravitates towards a more optimistic view. That is kind of like the community I've built. So it was just all like a very jarring moment. It was funny. It was super funny. I in hindsight, it made me never really want to give too many harsh opinions out again, because I was like, I don't really like that interaction. Like it made me feel bad. It made me feel like I was hurting people's feelings. But now that I've grown as a creator a little bit, I've learned that like that's not fair to me, and like sometimes, you know, I should just share my opinion about something. You know, as long as I'm not overly criticizing something, there's nothing wrong with having an opinion. There's nothing wrong with that. So I've, you know, I will say that at one point I was kind of afraid to like give out negative opinions about stuff, because it was just so crazy. Sorry to disturb you with this unsolicited letter. If the following does not interest you, please throw the letter away without giving a second thought. But this is your big chance. Do you have the need of an empty bottle, a piece of heart, or a treasure chart? We have them at a special bargain price, 25 2 for 50, Mr. Beatles. But we have only one of each. Well, if you're interested, go to the shop ship near Rockspire Island. First come, first serve. I can't wait to serve you. To those who took the time to read this letter, please accept my humble thanks. Assistant Manager, Rockspire Shop. When does Link get his tunic? Yeah, we're playing New Game Plus. We have our tunic on, but it's invisible, and only those with a pure heart can see it. So nobody can see my tunic except for me and those with a pure heart. All right, let's go get 100 rupees. What's up, Slope? So Slope, you know, there's rumors that we're getting an Ocarina of Time remake. So now is the time more than ever for you to get back on Ship of Harkinian and finish that game. What are you going to do? You're going to be the guy that only plays the remake? You're going to be the guy that didn't play the original first? You're going to be that guy? You're going to be that guy, Slip Slope? How you doing today, Ryder? Hell yeah, I'm gonna be that guy. All right, I guess so, if you say so. Sloat can be whatever guy he wants to be. Listen, I never said he couldn't. I was just asking what kind of guy he wanted to be. Do you want to be the guy who never played the original but only plays the remake? That's like being the guy who doesn't read the book before watching the movie. You can't even be a real fan if that's the case. That's just fake fandom. You're a fake fan. That's right. If you didn't read Lord of the Rings but you saw the movies, you're a fake fan. I just called you out. All right, hold on. Before this chat starts throwing stones at me, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Not my fault. The movie was better than the book. I don't know if that's true. With Lord of the Rings, you might have just been joking. I think the Lord of the Rings books are pretty awesome. That's rude. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. I won't even play the remake. If that's ever going to even come out, you won't even play the remake. Listen, Dazabound. It's not my fault that you don't have good taste in games, all right? Don't blame me for that. Man, doing this cutscene as a kid was so bad without having the indicator to mark where you're shooting. Does anybody remember? I almost failed this minigame multiple times as a kid because you couldn't, you had to guess. It was like playing Worms. You had to like guess where you were shooting. I swear that's how it was. Whereas now, like, you have like an indicator to guide you. 2 worlds, 1 and 2. How you doing today, Crash Doyle? Oh, Doyle rules. In fact, I know for a fact I failed this the first time I did it as a kid. Okay, Smiler. That Smiler was warranted. I'm just joking, dude. I'm just joking, Dazza. It's okay if you're not a Zelda fan. Don't take that, Dazza. No, Dazza knows I'm joking. That's the difference. He's not taking anything. We're just chums and we're just shooting the ish, you know? Just 2 chums shooting the ish. Just 2 chummy dudes over some chum buckets. Well met, Hyrule King. Well met indeed, Jabun. I am pleased to see that you are safe. The events that we have long feared seem to have been set in motion. Yes, it seems Ganon has returned. There is no other explanation. If you have sought me out, it must mean you have found the hero of time, does it not? Unfortunately, that is not so. Then for what purpose have you come to see me? The one I have brought with me has no connection to the legendary one, and yet I sense great promise in the courage that this one possesses. Promise? You suggest that I leave the fate of Hyrule up to mere chance? I do. It is the only way. I see. Then I suppose it is up to the gods to deem whether his courage is true. I give you the guidepost to the gods. The water spirit Jabun was kind enough to give you this jewel, a treasure of one of the goddesses. This jewel should dispel the curse that Ganon has cast upon this land. So that foul rain and endless night were indeed elements of a curse brought on us by Ganon. He must intend to cast this land into pure darkness for all time. Tell me, King Hyrule King, have you learned the whereabouts of the one who carries the bloodline of the Princess Zelda? I believe I have. So here's a fun fact, everybody. You can't hear this conversation in the first time you play this game. Fun fact, the first time you play this game, you can't understand anything that Jabun is saying. I think you might be able to understand what the King of Red Lions is saying, but you don't actually get to understand anything that they're saying to each other. So it's a cool little lore dump when you actually get to this part of the game in New Game Plus, and you get to the full conversation between both of them. And it's really, I really enjoy that. It's really cool to actually see them talking about Tetra and talking about like Zelda's lineage and stuff. That as well, you must protect Zelda. She cannot be permitted to fall into the hands of Ganon. I'm counting on you. 404 dungeon not found. I for sure thought that there was going to be a dungeon here as a kid, and I was kind of let down. Ganon's curse has been broken by the power of the pearl that Jabun gave us, so morning should come soon. It is well that we have gathered all the pearls. Are you ready, chat? I have marked the places where we must set the pearls on your sea chart. Once you have placed each of the pearls in the proper location, the proving grounds for your courage will become apparent. Clearly, the search for Jabun has shown that Ganon has begun to make efforts to block our path forward. It is certain that the perils ahead will be greater than any you have faced thus far. You should finish any business you have here on Outset right now, so that you shall have no regrets later. Oh, we're good. We're sailing off with no regrets, baby. No regrets. All right, there's a fairy fountain on the way, but I don't think we can access it. Let's go. Yeah, the spirits speak in the ancient language to the king. And when you first meet the Deku Tree, he also speaks in the ancient language for briefly, and before he talks to you in regular tongue. There's I think there's actually a there might be a giant squid nearby that we could potentially go visit, because we have the boomerang, which is all you really need to fight the squids. As long as they don't have too many eyes, the boomerang should be plenty. Unfortunately, I think it was in the other direction. Yeah, I think it might have been to the west, not the east. Good to see you, Slope. I hope you're well, dude. Yeah, I had to ask you about Ocarina to know that if you were at all encouraged to go play the original now that the remake got rumored, leaked, and potentially could happen. And yeah, I don't think Daz is... Oh my gosh, the cyclone. I don't think Daz has ever been much of a Zelda guy. You played some Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah, is that about it? Link's Awakening? You definitely did Link's Awakening. I remember because I wanted to watch you, and then I said that I did watch you because I was planning on watching you, and then it turns out that you didn't even have the VODs available on Twitch, and then I just looked like a fool because I was like, yeah, I watched that, but I was like planning to watch it, and then you were like, actually, dude, you can't even do that, so you're lying. You know, a little white lie, you know, I was just getting ahead of myself. What up, J Melon? I didn't tell you that though. Someone else spilled the tea. Yeah, somebody else told me about it. I was so embarrassed. I was like, no, but you don't understand. Like, now he's just gonna think I'm a big phony. And I'm like, I was going to watch it, so I just said I did because it was my intention to go soon. It was a whole thing, yeah. It was a whole thing, dude. I don't mind. I can look back and laugh at that kind of stuff because it wasn't too bad, you know. It's not that big of a deal. All right, nice. We can't do this island yet without iron boots. But we need to avoid this cyclone, though. Because this cyclone, we can't beat the cyclone without... We can't defeat that cyclone without arrows, and we don't get our bow until the next dungeon. So we just have to chill. I don't think you can beat that cyclone with boomerang. It has to be arrows. Yo, back up, dude. Back up, fools. All right, and then we have a fairy island here, but we can't go in here, I don't think. I don't think we can go in here. I think we need fire. Now, I think maybe bombs can blow up the entrance. So we might be fine. Let's see. Yeah, we might be fine to bomb our way in here. Let's see. Do 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 do. Ah, no. Yeah, nice. The thing is that this might be like a quiver. Can we even use it? No, it's not a quiver. I know it's not for sure, actually. Where is the blue chew? I don't know, Hylian, but you might want to talk to your doctor about that. All right, let's roll. It's going well today, Jay. I hope you're feeling good. The Waker of Winds. Allow me to aid your quest. Oh, Slope, I got a chance to watch those videos finally, by the way. All right. I got some photos. I got some. Oh, it's my bomb upgrade. I got some photos of Midna for y'all that I took. I don't take many photos. I'll be honest. I'm pretty bad about that stuff. But I decided this morning to take a quick 3 snaps of Midna. Just a super quick 3 snaps of her being a loaf. And I just wanted to give y'all a nice healthy update. Here you guys go. Here's Loafy Midna. Here's Loafy Midna hanging out on my bed this morning. Just doing her thing. She'll come and sleep on like the corner of my bed if I'm being too like during the night she'll sleep close to me so she can get all the warmth, but if I like get out of bed or move, sometimes she'll just go to the corner. Yeah, look at her being a little loaf, dude. Look at a little loafer. Oh, you're playing Coral Island? Somebody playing Coral Island? What up, Bitsam? Good to see you, dude. Nice. Coral Island's dope. Oh, yeah, you Bit and J. Bit and J. Doing some Coral Island, dude. Very nice. My playthrough's on YouTube for that if you want to watch. It was at the 1.0 release. And if you're looking for some silly old content of mine, there is actually an episode of my Twitch archives series where I release single VODs from really old days on my show. And I released an episode of Coral Island in early access. I played it for like 4 to 6 hours, all the way back in like 2020, I think. And I didn't go back to the game because I didn't want to play early access. You got a Beat Mania tattoo? Oh, you finally got it? So you were on a wait list for a long time and you got it? Oh, I'm going in the wrong direction. Where's this little island that I'm trying to go to? There it is. Dang, we don't have good speed going in this direction, but we're just gonna keep going. I don't want to change my sail. I don't want to change my sail out. I'm gonna regret this a little bit, but all right, here we go. Nice, dude. Beat Mania is so cool. Bum bam bam bum bam bum bam 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 bum bam bum bam bam bam. All right, now we got to deal with these terrifying pea hats. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. What a freak. Who decided that this was a good idea, Nintendo? I hate these things. Ah, get away from me. Ah. Ah, dude, they're freaks. Wandering traveler who seeks the guidepost of the goddess, place the pearl you hold here. Jump scare. Wait, not yet. That's not until you put the other pearls down. Good thing they're actually super easy to kill. So they're just big monsters, but they're softies. They died a boomerang, which thank goodness they died a boomerang, because these things suck. All right, I'd like to go give some bait to this fish real quick before I leave. I knew it was about to hit me. Oh, they don't knock you off the ship in HD. Wait, what? Why didn't I know that? Wait, you don't get knocked off your ship in HD? Wait a second. What a huge quality of life, dude. You don't get knocked off your ship? I noticed that earlier when I got shot by the bomb. I was expecting Link to fall off the ship when I got shot by the bomb, but it didn't happen. And I was like, wait, what? Dude, I forgot about that change. Dude, so to explain, y'all, if you go back and play this game on GameCube on the NSO app, you're going to quickly realize how annoying it is. And I say this because every time you take a hit in the original, you get knocked off your boat, I'm fairly certain. You get knocked off your complete boat, and you have to climb back into it. I finally have the points for 1 week VIP. When it comes back, I'm coming for it. Nice, dude. Yeah, we're playing the HD edition. We got our stupid gamepad here. I hate this thing. That's so massive. We should probably go to this over here. These usually house important items like all sorts of awesome stuff. Like a bottle or a heart piece. It could be any of the two things I just mentioned, but I think we've already been here. We've already been here. I'm leaving. Back up. Back up, Octorok. Back up, dude. I jumped on that thing's head. I didn't even know that was possible. I'm taking damage, though. All right, we're just cruising on a slow pace here because I'm too lazy to change the wind. So we're gonna do a nice subtle cruise here. Peepo Sunday cruise. Look at that beautiful sunset, everybody. Yeah, dude, this game's gorgeous, man. Ah, Mega Cyclone's back again. Get away from me, dude. Get away from me, dude. Actually, I'd love to talk to this guy. Wait. No. We've already been here before, too. We don't have this map opened up here, though. Maybe we haven't. Maybe I'm thinking of somewhere else. We should go talk to those guys. They might have a treasure map for me. Look at that huge tornado out in the distance, just waiting for me. Comfort cruising, that's right. All right, here you go. Only one pearl remains. All right, let's go to Fish Boy over here. Down. Small fry. Let me tell you something, Small Fry. That school on the Windfall Island has a gorgeous teacher. But the thing is, the gang of 4 little hoodlums is always causing trouble for her. How does a fish know all this stuff? Ow. Ow. Leave me alone, please. Let me go talk to the naked boys. The jerky boys over here. I'm the Wind Waker. These guys over here are the Wind Wankers. Oi, bruv. These are the Wind Wankers. Come here, wait. Stop running from me. Yeah, tectonic. Yo, Bub! You collect treasure, Bub? To see where you can find treasure, open your map. If you compare the island charts on the right with the treasure charts on the left, it should be easy to figure out. The secret to hauling up treasure is to go to the spot marked on the map and then use your grappling hook while in your boat. Then it just takes patience, Bub. A lot of first-time treasure hunters give up pretty quickly because they don't get how it works, and they're missing out. It's really not that hard. So, that's how it works. Okay, we did talk to these dudes already. Yikes. Bub. He said, I don't know how many times I need to explain it to you. Homie's like, leave us alone, dude. They just said shoo. Wow. Jerkwads. All right, we got to get away from this tornado. This thing is coming for blood, dude. This thing's coming for blood right now. All right, we are going to have to change our wind here. We are going to have to change the wind. The bloody wind. No, we can keep cruising like this. We can keep cruising like this. Oh, we got a balloon in the Twitch chat this morning. What up, Pineapple Flow? Do 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 The poppin' is still egregious in this game, though. You would have think they could maybe fix the poppin' with the HD edition, but I guess not. Man, I would love for them to just do a full blown out remake from the ground up of Wind Waker. I would like it more than Ocarina, and I'm super excited for Ocarina. From the ground up, like I'm talking different graphics, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, massive open world, maybe even more ways to travel than just sailing as you play through the game. Maybe you can, you know, fast travel around. Maybe you can, like, you know how in the desert in Breath of the Wild you have like those the sand seals? What if you could just ride regular seals and you could like speed around like you're playing Jet Moto and you're just like speeding around the ocean? Like, they could totally do a full remake of this game. And then, you know, they could just keep like the boat, of course. The boat could be a thing. The boat could even be like a little bigger and like more interesting if they wanted, you know? But I like the little pocket-sized boat. Rolling around at the speed of sound. Rolling around at the speed of sound. Got places to go, gotta follow my rainbow. Something like that. Nice, we got some more bubs and a treasure here. We got some more bubs and a treasure here, dude. Let's go talk to the bubs first. Yo, Bub! You collecting treasure, Bub? Okay, I guess... Is it the same group? I thought there was multiple loots from those dudes. I just must be misremembering. Here we go. I'm not close enough, I don't think. Got it. I haven't played Nintendo since N64 or Super Nintendo were new. Watching you play these games makes me want to get back into Nintendo and give them a try. Yeah, I think my break from Nintendo personally, so I can relate to your comment, because my break from Nintendo happened during the PlayStation 3 era. PlayStation 3 era, I got my first ever official computer, and I got a PlayStation 3, and I just wasn't interested. And then I had a Wii for Smash Brothers, and my Wii got stolen, and I never replaced it because I just didn't feel the need to. And that's when I quit playing Nintendo, and I came back. I didn't come back to Nintendo until the Switch and Breath of the Wild. So like, now is the time to come back in a lot of ways, because Nintendo has been reinventing themselves. Like, we have the most updated Zelda game is arguably one of the best we've ever gotten. The most updated Mario game is arguably one of the best we've ever gotten. The Kirby game is the most updated Kirby game is arguably the best we've ever gotten. The most updated Donkey Kong game is one of a really great game. You know, it's a little bit different than traditional Donkey Kong, but it works. You know, Smash Brothers Ultimate is the ultimate Smash Brothers experience outside of like Melee, right? Like it's, the Switch really has a wonderful set of like modern Nintendo games that are totally worth coming back for sure. How'd your Wii get stolen? Some dudes just walked into our house and stole it. I was living with my buddies, and my buddies didn't fully understand. Like, we all just like didn't really like lock our doors and stuff. Like it didn't really matter. And then there was 2 bad eggs that like cased our house at a party and then just came and robbed us. It was just a lesson in, if you're going to be throwing parties and letting strangers into your home, then you need to lock your doors. And, you know, I wasn't a big fan of the parties. So I say this all very bitterly. Back then, I didn't want parties. I didn't want any of that. I wanted to come home every day to my attic and to my home, smoke a bunch of sandwiches and, you know, conk out. Like I didn't, but I was always coming home to parties. They were always throwing these parties. Well, eventually they invited some bad eggs to the party. They cased our house and we got robbed for a bunch of stuff, a bunch of bongs and like bowls. And then we got our Wii got stolen. It wasn't much more than that, but I still to this day, I tell that story very bitterly because I never even wanted to have those parties. And the fact that the Wii was in the living room, but my room was in the attic, was why the Wii got stolen. Because everyone wanted to play Smash Brothers, so that we put it in the living room, even though I paid for half of the Wii. So like, to this day, I still blame all of the other people that lived in the house. Even though obviously we all should have been locking our doors, but still to this day, I blame all of them. Because I'm like, you guys caused this, dude. Yeah. Like, yeah, those same parties, at one point, like somebody brought a gun. At one point, like I said, we had a bunch of like sandwich tools stolen. We had our Wii stolen. It was like, dude, what are you guys doing, man? Stop. We don't need parties, man. But of course, you know, we were all 18 years old, so whatever, you know. PC era strong, yeah. So I didn't come back to Nintendo until I bought a 3DS to play Animal Crossing and Pokemon Sun and Moon, and then I sold it. I played Fire Emblem as well, and I played A Link Between Worlds. And then I bought a Switch and I bought Breath of the Wild, and that's when I'm full back on Team Nintendo. Oh yeah, Jess MP, I was the dude who would walk in and everyone would get scared because I would start kicking people out of the house. Like straight up, I was the dude who would show up, and if somebody was in the house that I didn't know or didn't like, I would be like, you guys, you gotta go, leave. And more than once, I was like a jerk. Like, I'll never forget this guy, Pearson, who was like a chotch, and I never liked him because he challenged me once. And when I told everyone that I was like the first Aesop Rock fan, which is a musical artist, I told everybody I was like the first Aesop Rock fan in the city, and this guy Pearson questioned me. He was like, no, I knew about Aesop before you. And in that moment, I was like, I don't ever want to talk to this guy again. How dare you challenge me? You know, on some big-headed, you know, young kid-ish. So anyways, I'll never forget this story. One day, Pearson shows up to come into one of these parties, and I'm there. And he walks in the front door, and I turn over and I go, no. And everyone's like, what? And I'm like, no, you gotta go. Get him out of here. And everyone's like, dude, what do you mean? I'm like, get him out of here. And everyone was like really good friends with Pearson, but I didn't like him. So I was like, he's gotta leave. Go, leave right now. And everyone was so mad at me. And I was like, nope, he's gotta go. Get him out of here. My house, my rules. I live here. I pay rent as well. Bye. He's gotta go right now. And I made them kick this dude out. And then I went upstairs like 2 hours later, and I came back down. So like I hung out for a little while, and I eventually went up to my attic, and I came back down like an hour and a half later, and he was there. They like snuck him back in, and I was like, all right, whatever. Yeah, they snuck him back in. I was like, all right, whatever, man. But listen, I hate him. All right, here we go. The Tower of the Gods. Pearson still playing your Wii as revenge? Nah, I know who stole the Wii. It wasn't Pearson, but boy, would that have been insane if he was the one who stole my Wii. Like, that would have been insane lore. That would have been crazy revenge. No, he wasn't the person. Yeah, we knew through the grapevine who stole it. We knew. The Tower of the Gods. Which we'll be continuing on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. I mean, Wind Waker. All right, short stream today. I'm going to get out of here, y'all. Thanks for coming and hanging out. Shorty today. I know, extra short, I know. We don't hit the 4-hour minimum too often, but we're just doing 4 today. All right, I'm going to go find a raid recipient here. All right, we'll be back tomorrow, and I'll have the schedule up for tomorrow, for next week, whatever, you know, just let you know what days I'll be here. And we have Tamagotchi Life. Tamagotchi Life next week. We're going to be playing day 1. What is it, Wednesday, Thursday? So look out for that. Tamagotchi Life next week. And then, of course, otherwise, Pokemon Pokopia, Stardew Valley, which was the other option for today. Sorry, Stardew fans. I chose Zelda today. So Stardew this week, Pokemon Pokopia, more Wind Waker, and whatever else we feel like doing. We got a lot of options after our 7-day marathon. So we got lots of games to play. Lots of stuff that we're going to be jamming out on. So we'll be mixing it up. We'll be keeping it as consistent as possible, while also diving into a good amount of variety. So I'll do my best to keep things balanced. We'll probably keep the mornings pretty cozy and the afternoons pretty variety. Probably. But like I woke up today and wanted to play Wind Waker, I'm going to just let myself wake up and do whatever some days. But I think tomorrow will be Pokopia. It's a good show to yap. It's a good game to yap over. All right, let me find us a quick raid recipient here before we wrap up. And today we're going to go and visit the lovely Simply Press Start, who is playing some Pokopia today. Do me a favor and mind the spoilers. They're not looking for any kind of spoilers. So I would appreciate if we avoid spoilers over there. Just a heads up, because they're usually trying to do spoiler-free content. And they might not know all the things we know. Like, we just finished our Pokedex yesterday. If you didn't see that, go back and watch the VOD. It's available on Twitch and it's available on YouTube. Go back and watch the VOD if you didn't see it. We finished our Pokedex yesterday. It was super awesome. So hopefully y'all can go back and enjoy that. So, all right. On that note, this is Highly in Descent signing off from another wonderful Hyro Gaming Group production. If I don't see y'all here tomorrow, I'll see you when I see you, fam. Don't forget to game on. And of course, as always, peace. Wrap it up and on to the next episode. Peace. All right, they just jumped into a break, but that's fine. We're still going to rate them. Sometimes you rate a BRB screen. It is what it is. It's better than rating into ads, which happens sometimes. You can't really avoid it. So we'll let's go over and see what they're up to. They're taking a break, but we're going to go visit them. Get yourself a raid message here. Here's one for the non-subs. Here's one for the subs. I love y'all and appreciate y'all. Honored to be a part of your daily routines, and I'm certainly honored to have you as a part of mine. A little bit of a sleepy Sunday. We'll be back tomorrow recharged. But until then, peace, y'all, and hit them cat jams. Peace.